Nerdrotic.com.
Welcome, travelers, to the fringes of reality, where the strange and mysterious meet, and the thin veil between fact and fiction is torn. Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.
Hey, he's here.
Hey,
He's here.
Can you guys hear me?
Hey!
Yeah, we can hear you. We're live.
Okay, cool.
Save the gamer words. Well, fuck it.
The what?
We're on Rumble. The gamer words.
The real ones with the Popa nacho chips or whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
that's it.
I
Welcome
used
to
to
the
work on
Forbidden.
that.
Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier. We're only a few minutes late, and we have Kurt fucking Metzger.
Wait, are you still
Look at that. Oh, I need that shirt.
Quiet.
Oh,
Everyone, please. I'm speaking now.
Fuido.
You have a beautiful house, Kurt.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it
I love
great?
the
My piano.
piano.
Yeah,
Magnificent.
sometimes
it's gorgeous.
I can't play, but it looks nice. I think
Do you just ever lay on it naked?
all the time.
I would
Yeah.
too.
That's a strange.
That's a great question. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
I love this interview. Starting it off hot.
Turn it off.
Sorry.
We're going to go over some subject matter with Kurt because Kurt actually wanted to talk to us about this, and I want to talk to him about it. And basically, with disclosure, your little segment on Rogan was fucking awesome. So
Do you think they will disclose what a woman is?
maybe
The ultimate secret.
well, it's figuring out a woman is the ultimate secret, and they will never disclose that because no one ever knows.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No one ever knows. But I have to do some business.
There we go.
I have to do some business
Okay.
before we start. I gotta we want to make America healthy again, everybody. The Dems spent years forcing mandates and dictating how we manage our health. Now we're pushing back when we try to take control of it ourselves. That's why I'm reclaiming my own health with Field of Greens. We all know eating healthy is key to staying healthy, in theory. But life gets busy, and sticking to a perfect diet isn't always realistic, especially when you have to drop everything and drive to Wisconsin. Field of Greens makes it easy. It's whole fruits and vegetables. That's it. And we could all use more of that in our diets. That's for sure. Just one drink, and I've got my healthy head start for the day. Every fruit and vegetable in Field of Greens is doctor selected for specific health benefits. There's a heart health group, lungs, kidney, and metabolism groups, even healthy weight group. Now, I've had it before. X-Ray Girls had it before.
Field of Greens is good. I like it.
Yeah,
I want some Field of Greens.
It's
It
legit.
tastes like you drank like fresh lawnmower clippings, but not bad.
But
You
yeah,
know what
that's
I
how I'd say
do?
it. So you're like, oh, this is good.
I mix it with my gamer subs, and it actually improves the taste so much. So not only I'm just
the
mixing
gamer
two
subs. No, they're
Yeah.
good. It's all good.
uh,
I don't yet like green drinks. I'm not a fan, and I can drink this, so that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and
I mean,
you know,
yeah.
yeah, I'm 55. I need to think about this stuff. I can't go out and have Dr. Pepper and Taco Bell like Ryan and yell at people, who don't get my
Wait.
order right.
Gary, are you saying you don't mix it with your gamer subs?
I don't.
No,
No.
he has
I
a
don't.
better
I don't
Yeah.
mix drinks
palate than I
bro.
do. I've destroyed mine.
Maybe that's from my alcohol days, but I don't make. You can scan for a code now. Is there also another
The code is
there?
up right here.
We got a 20% discount to get you started. Go to fieldofgreens.com and use my code Nerdrotic. That's fieldofgreens.com. Code Nerdrotic. Thank you, Field of Greens.
Mhm.
Get healthy,
Subs.
motherfuckers. All right. Hi, everybody. We're just gonna get to it and start bullshitting because the show's been off for a couple weeks, Kurt. We were
It
supposed to have
has?
you on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cause your thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're getting back on it. We're having fun. Welcome, chat. Thanks for being here. So disclosure. We're gonna start with fucking disclosure because this is a thing that's been, Kurt, I know you're into the ufology. I'm sure you've observed it.
UAPs, we call them now.
Yes.
Fuck that. It's
They've
UFOs.
transitioned.
It's UFOs.
Yeah, don't dead name
Government
UAPs.
relabeling. Yeah. I reject it, even though it makes sense. I completely reject the new government relabeling that Chuck Schumer and fucking Hillary Clinton wanted. So screw that.
Dude, that documentary that's coming out, they're on it. You're like, oh wow.
Oh, yeah.
I guess they're coming clean.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You know, you see, there's certain faces you see, like Tim Burchett's fucking awesome. The guy's based.
Dude,
Love
hell
that
yeah.
guy.
Follow him on
And
Twitter. He's like
He's
savage.
fucking funny as hell. And I understand that they're trying to do the bipartisan thing, but with Chucky fucking Schumer, that's just not anything. James Clapper, you brought that up. James fucking Clapper being there is unbelievable.
Well, I recommend if you want the killer advice, the stuff on this, Dark Journalist, that dude Daniel Litzt, killer stuff. And that's how I found about COG and all this other stuff. And he points out often how preposterous it is that your intel agencies are going to come clean on that in any way willingly. Like they're just not. So all this nonsense over the lockdowns, which is when they started titty peeking it a little bit, right? That what happened at Academy of the Stars and all that other nonsense. Remember all that?
Yeah.
It just went away, just goes away. But Lou Elizondo remains.
Yes, whose job was to spread misinformation and overthrow regimes. And
so an expert at lying. They screen they screen to make sure you can lie like how people tell the truth. Like they screen for that. I don't even know what his whole background is, but some of these professional liars have been put through special mental training to be like almost like Dune like what was it, the Bene Gesserit? They would train them to control their body and all that. They're based on the Jesuits. That's what he's based the Bene Gesserit on. Do you know that?
No,
I did not know that.
Yeah, the Jesuits would go. They were so in Asia, like here they always make it about it's like anti-Semitism, right? Like the kind of there's a force that's trying to take us from within. That they always put on the Jews, but not in Asia. They don't know what Jews are there. In Asia, they said about the Jesuits. The Jesuits literally were there to do that. They're intelligence agents. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Catholics and the Jesuits. Yeah, you watch shows.
Right.
Shogun.
Yes.
They really get into that. So okay, that makes sense. Herbert was introducing a lot of that stuff, but I can't get through the damn book, Kurt. I just can't do it. I know a lot of people in the chat love it. Dune. I can't do it.
Oh, I really like that book, but everything's in Dune. I don't know how. It's very strange. Even the stuff with their mental powers and control. You know, the voice.
Yeah.
If you listen to Frank Herbert, the voice is not in the movie. They always do it wrong. They make it like from Preacher, where he's like the voice of God. It's not like that.
Yeah.
It was purely hypnosis, and people that can entertain or sing or a politician. Like I think that Steve Bannon used the voice on Jimmy's when we interviewed him. It felt like that to me. I felt a shift from him. He's a guy who knows a lot of stuff, but once it gets to like a topic that's a little uncomfortable or whatever, he'll use like the voice. And I'm not saying it's a thing you had to go get special training for. People have a knack for it, you know, but that's what Frank Herbert was referring to. Gotcha. It was like a non-offensive. If you ever see that creep Michael Aquino from the old Geraldo Rivera, the Satanic Panic guy who was a colonel and came to Mind War and all that. He has interviews that are very recent. He died of suicide during COVID.
Oopsie.
Yeah. And that's on his death certificate. But he I don't know. Yeah, I would think he probably is dead for real. I'm not saying anything like that. Like the guy's a real creep and he's a real loose end for the kind of stuff that the intel agencies were doing. And I listened to him talking about physics on some channel, some guy, real small views channel. And his voice is so creepy, how soft and non-threatening it is. And I passed out. Well, I passed out with headphones on, listening to that creep. And it's like hypnosis. It like puts you right out. And some people have that. You can tell, like when you watch them, you're like they just like you go in a trance.
Maybe there's something else to it, though. It just,
What?
I don't know. Maybe there's some extra little mind oomph behind it.
Yes, there is. It's called blue light. It's coming out of your screens. Yeah, no, there is.
Yeah.
The stuff that you do in Vegas to ruin your dopamine reward centers.
Yeah, right.
They studied that. They learned how to do it. And so all your screens, the blue light coming off of it is doing that at all times. I mean, it's too late for me. I can't sleep without headphones on listening to. I have to. My girl likes silence, but I have the TV on. I have headphones plugged into a controller.
I go to sleep every night with headphones on, listening to something. Yeah,
it's not good.
Yeah.
Sometimes you. So
it's too late for me.
Yeah. Well,
Lost.
All
Maybe
these
you have
young-
to field
all the
green.
young guys, you're just gonna have to deal with this shit. I'm glad I'm old.
Hey guys, get Field of Greens. You want to deal with?
Yeah, Field of Greens. Field of Greens.
Yeah.
So, real quick, I think I am a firm believer in UFOs. I think there's aliens. I think aliens have landed. I think our government has shit. I think they're reverse engineering. I just have a very hard time. I want to believe like Fox Mulder. I want to, but I have a hard time getting it from the government. And what's even stranger is what's been going on in ufology now. And there's a massive Greer's going after. Oh, I forgot. Greer's going after somebody. Wilcock has always been weird. I was watching.
Yeah, I don't know what his deal is. That guy thinks he's the reincarnation of Edgar Casey, which in the world of bisexual spiritualism, that's kind of a heavy thing for him to be claiming. In the world of mystery school fantasy theosophy things, it's wild to say that. Bro,
during COVID, his streams, Wilcock's streams, were getting watched by 30,000 people. Damn. Dude, they were. But he was like Greer. He's a much worse form of Greer, but he was like, something's coming. We're going to get a big announcement.
Right.
And if you've been in ufology and followed Art Bell for any amount of time going back, there's always some motherfucker. There's a big announcement coming around the corner, just any second now. And then it never fucking happens. So that's what we have.
Right. Well, okay. So now I don't know what's going to happen. It's I think that drone thing, which was not just New Jersey, by the way. It was all my buddies.
It was all
Scott
over the
Rouse.
East.
Scott Rouse, a body language channel guy. He was talking about on News Nation because he saw some weird ass stuff. And I had his theory about it. So I was watching Dark Journalist, and he brought up the article in Wired, I think, or I don't remember what tech magazine. Palmer Luckey was going to work on our swarm drones because that was the hope for the panic, blah, blah, blah. And he was mentioning if that guy is working on that he's read into some real stuff, it's called Andural or something. His company's named after the sword from Lord of the Rings, as opposed to Peter Thiel's name of that. Yeah. And things that have blue in front of it. There's some designation. Yeah. There's some designation of blue in front of things. That means it's probably connected to that.
Well, Peter Thiel has Plantier. Right. So
that's creepy as hell that he named it that. That nerd knows what he's doing.
Or he read Lord of the Rings. But
he read Lord of the Rings. At least the other guy named it after the good guy sword. He's naming it after the thing that corrupts absolutely. So whatever. He's a creep. I think he's a creep.
Numenorians. Yeah.
So I was like, I'm watching this. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. All these drones are overhead. They haven't done anything. No one's shooting them down. Is this some kind of tech bro disruption? Advertising or something? That's what they're into, disruption and tech. And I think I'm right. I talked to some people. I think I am right about that. It was Palmer Luck because they came out and was, they knew the tests were happening. Obviously they knew because they didn't do anything about it.
Palmer Luckey's defense startup Anduril raises $1.5 billion to produce AI powered weapons. Okay. What's the date on this?
To make so not all the drones were just planes and stuff. Some of them are plasma things. Okay. And there's an old article I posted on my Twitter. The Navy can make plasma UFOs with a direct energy thing off of a boat. They've had that for a while. What? So I'm not saying it is that, but they have the means to do that. And it's public information and not a secret.
Well, I think the drones, I don't like that. I've liked a lot of what Trump has done. Did not like the explanation for the drones at all. I thought that
they're not going to tell you it's Palmer Luckey's
100% bullshit.
They're not going to tell you that.
Yeah, no, and they're not going to tell us about UFOs. And
that's they don't really say psyop anymore with these things. By the way, just for the record, not that I use the wrong terminology, but that's it is a psyop to see what everybody does how did everybody react? You know, that, I mean, it's on purpose. So just that alone is creepy as hell. The stuff they got to release is going to be so, if it's honest, okay, I ain't holding my breath that they're going to release like the whole thing of what's going on, because I don't see how they could unless they were doing it in steps. Like, for people to understand what the truth about it is, you have to go through like 5 stages of grief with them. You can't just blurt out the truth to people, it turns out.
No.
You have to J.J. Abrams mystery box it and draw it out over 3 seasons.
It definitely feels like a ramp up, because we started a couple years ago, with the balloon, the whole balloon UFO. Everybody thought it was aliens, and they were shooting it down over the Great Lakes. And then
that's different balloons. The Chinese spy balloon, which, by the way,
and then they ramp it up.
Bullshit. It's a balloon. It's not a Chinese spy balloon.
Yeah.
They still say it, and everybody still says it like it's real. And I don't believe you. I don't believe you. They spy by balloon. By balloon. They make our viruses and shoes and our phones, but they're gonna go do steampunk flying. That's the story. Yeah. Oh, and it's the size of a school bus. It says China on it, and they sent it from mainland China. You know how many bases we have between here and China? It's got to float over. If you look up our base map,
pretty much everyone.
Everywhere.
It looks like a sex offender registry of our best and brightest.
Everywhere.
Some of the best balloon hunting technology, and it got past all that all the way to Billings. I got to do that joke again tonight. Actually,
that's a good one. About that. No, work
it's
out
like
the material. It's all good.
It wasn't enough for them to turn all our kids fat and gay. They want to take pictures and laugh, right? Come on, up on high in their balloon.
Don't even ask what they're putting in the fucking baby powder.
Babies, probably.
Or the formula.
Funny. Yeah, baby formula. Yeah.
Why? That's my question. I was at the store yesterday getting some groceries. That they moved the baby formula from the back to the front, and it's in a locked glass box. I'm like, what? We produce milk as a species to feed babies. Why is baby formula this high level? We have
People
to keep it
stealing
secret.
them.
It's because it's so.
You can make mess out of it. I don't know.
Is that it? Like, that's one of my questions. Like, can you? Like, is it a drug? Like, I don't know.
Well, there was
so weird to me.
I can't get into it here. There were basic things that you could go to the store and buy and make meth back in the day easily.
Yeah,
easily.
Oh yeah, the cleaning aisle.
Yeah, you didn't need any license or permit. You just had to go to a certain place and get a couple of things, and you were off to the races. But
I saw it on Mr. Wizard when I was a kid. The kid would come over and
yeah, that was the first episode.
Remember Mr. Wizard? You can't make that
I
now.
do. No, you could
An
not.
old man that just neighborhood kids come in and he teaches them about science.
Back in the, I know, right? Well, kids wouldn't know. Like, what gender is it? No, like they used to have the chemistry set that would have the little like fucking radioactive thing. Yeah. God, I'd love to have one of those. Bill Nye's gay. Bill Nye. He's not a science guy.
Yeah, Bill Nye's a comedian. He's not a scientist. I don't know why people think he's a science guy.
I think that's giving him too much credit.
I think it is too. Yeah,
he's just an actor.
You're a comedian, Kurt. Bill Nye is a fucking tool of the propaganda.
Well, he's from a long time ago. I mean, before I was even thinking about doing stand up, he was doing it, and then he, a bunch of people get jobs doing other stuff. Dino Badala on either MSNBC or CNN. He was a comic. He became like the worst kind of blue MAGA there is.
Yep. Hey, Pat Oswald killed his wife and now hosts a game show.
I don't think that he did
allegedly.
I think I wouldn't think that. I think it was very sudden, and then he married some actress from that movie Can't Buy Me Love, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's an 80s actress, and I think that chick's probably. This is my guess from what little I know about him. The chick probably spends his money faster than he can make it. Okay, and the when he had to apologize to Chappelle for being in a picture with Chappelle, remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yes.
Because I always liked him, dude. That was just such a pathetic thing to do, is to apologize.
I used to like Patton back in the day, like 15 years ago.
A bunch of people got their brain and plus you're in showbiz, so you're like thinking about your kids that you want them to be able to go into show. There's so much stuff involved where I don't know how conscious it is. It just everybody is programmed like, well, you got to think about your career, And I mean, you watch it on YouTube and all these other channels, you can see the people that are doing. We don't have to name names of all of them. You know who they are. As soon as you see them, like, oh, there's your little stupid career, and you read the algorithm and all that stupid, like, and as soon as their message gets like different, like
it's over.
And then like people know it, like
People
it's
know when they
It's not authentic.
when they take the step. You got to be authentic. That's why, again, I'm glad I'm old and I don't have to play any of that shit.
Yeah,
So,
I don't care. I literally don't care at all. Like I can't believe anybody's still like, look at these young comics down here. Like I got my Netflix as a joke audition. Like, Jesus Christ. You still like some people are like, oh, JFL's back. I'm gonna get into the Just for Laughs festival. It's unbelievable. Everybody's got the mentality of a cow.
well, and that's an old mentality of getting into those.
That's what I
festivals.
had. 20 years
Old
ago.
guard.
Yeah.
20 years ago, you didn't make your own thing. You worked. I worked for like Viacom, basically. If I think about it, I worked for Viacom on every different thing I worked on was just Viacom at the end of the day. You know, and you
TV.
you're conditioned to be like, I got to get an agent and a manager, and then people are like, oh, my agent fired me. Your agent works for you. Your agent doesn't fire you.
No,
they're an employee of you. You know, so like people's. Then I'm with her. Remember with Hillary? People go, I'm with her. The whole mentality turned into some lords and ladies feudal thing very quickly, and so now, and this is especially when I have like some friends of mine, like Elon Musk is their number one hated billionaire, right?
Right.
Like, and I'm like, oh, which billionaire do you like? Who's your favorite?
Who's your favorite? Give me your top 10 billionaires.
Jeff? Oh no, you didn't like
Some of
him.
the good ones. I like Mark Cuban and George Soros. George Soros is like a conspiracy theory. I think they don't even know he exists because you mention it. If you mention his name, they're like, "There's no such thing." Like,
there's no such thing as a George Soros who used to help the Nazis,
who actually went door to door picking out Jew stuff.
Yes,
for the Nazis. That's his childhood. His family's the biggest scum that ever lived, and he's just like a forward-facing part of it. He's not like any mastermind or anything,
right.
but it's amazing watching people get focused on it because they don't want to look at the whole thing, and the whole thing's real bad. So all this UFO shit, they're gonna have to talk about MK Monarch with it because that's directly connected. Everybody says MK Ultra. You don't hear nobody talk about Monarch. That used to be a thing I heard of back before 2012. I would see stuff about Monarch, and then it all got scrubbed away. And I didn't believe it when I heard it. I thought it was like a metaphor or something for society. No, it's what happened.
Well, that's what happens if you listen to Art Bell. The late Art Bell. So back to disclosure real quick. All right. This is why we're not going to get it. It's always been a ruse. It's always been bullshit. They might leak a couple of grainy videos. I certainly believe there's some truth in there, but it is surrounded by a bunch of bullshit, and it's obfuscating like something that's far worse. So whatever it is, whoever the bad guy is, I think it's still us. I think if there's
aliens are us as well. Oh, here, want to know my cuckoo? I'll go straight to cuckoo if you want.
No, there's no cuckoo here.
Because in Dune,
your truth.
In Dune, aka the Quran, in Dune, Adele goes, it's a love letter to ISIS, that movie. Dune. There's no aliens. People say, why are there no aliens in it? Right? There's the machines, the thinking machines, and then there's all the humans scattered on all the planets. And the Bene Gesserit Sisterhood would go and they'd plant myths ahead of time, thousands of years, so they can come and fulfill them. Do you remember all that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know if people really comment on this, but in the book, he might have not come out and said this, but the way that they were breeding people, the Bene Gesserit Sisterhood, to make their Quiznos Haderach, you also are breeding people to be receptive to have the voice used on them. Right? So you could breed people. Imagine breeding people so that when you give them commands, they hear it like the voice of God. I was kind of thinking maybe that's what they were getting at when they put in the thing. It's a whole breeding program. So this is very Nazi, dude. Right after the war, you hear about the breakaway civilization?
Yes.
I think of it like apartheid South Africa, okay? Where they're like, no, you're completely separate and we live here. There's some kind of thing with this where we are the African part, the people from Africa. Yeah. And the apartheid people are the breakaway civilization. And you could already see it at every level of society. Are there the human, non-human intelligences in a dimension we can't see? Yeah, the homeless in LA, they're called. Sometimes you have an encounter. People say there's a smell.
That's-
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
your perception is already trained to go, that's cool. Now, at some point, it piles up so high, you have to really be mind controlled to not see it. LA is insane. The amount of homeless there in Austin, where I live, we moved into the worst goddamn part. It's like historic district, and I think some rich asshole put a soup kitchen not far to lower the property to buy
a lateral move from California to Austin, but
well, I just wanted to be by a club. I wouldn't have moved there unless Joe. If Joe hadn't made Mothership, I wouldn't come here. I have to have a club I can hang out at.
Mothership is awesome, dude.
I mean, luckily it turned out to be the seat of Western power now.
Yeah. I know, right?
Lucky.
Pretty awesome.
It's going to be the tech capital of the world pretty soon. So
yeah. So when and Joe go, this is a simulation. When people say this is a simulation, I don't know if they're thinking it's the Star Trek holodeck. Like I think it is, but not like a holodeck situation. The simulation is just pure hypnosis. Like imagine like everybody watch. I don't know. We're in like Egypt or something, or I'm doing a hypnosis show and I hypnotize the crowd, and I tell you it's 20 years in the past. And so with hypnosis, some people are super suggestible and it's hereditary. That's what they learned. That's why they study DNA to see who's got upper class genes, which means they can hypnotize you easier. That's the mark of good breeding, being suggestible. Okay. If there's some people that are going to believe it and act like it's real, some people are going to not believe it, but they're going to see that the rest of the herd is going for it. And they're going to go, I'm not going to be against everyone. I'll just go along and maybe I'll move up in the system. Right. And some people aren't going to play, and they're a minority of people. They're like, what this is insane. And you've seen this over and over and over and over. Okay.
And you come up with a term to like push them away, conspiracy theorist or whatever it is.
Well, yeah, but the main thing is I hypnotize most of you think you live 20 years in the past. Okay, so what is that, like 2005? So you're like making edgy jokes, skateboarding all over the place. whatever they were doing back then, watching Girls Gone Wild on your VHS.
Did you know? I'm kidding.
Okay, and everybody's doing that, right? And then at the end of the show when they go, now I'll bring you back, but I don't bring you back. I just leave you like that.
Right.
I just leave you like that for like thousands of years, always 20 years behind, hypnotized. And all I did was initially put the thing and never break the trance, and then keep it up, that beach ball up. So did I travel to the future? Because you think you live 20 years behind? It's all perception. Yeah. That's what they mastered. All this secret shit that you go to a mystery school, the J.J. Abrams mystery box. This is almost directly like from Scientology or Freemasonry or any of these things where you don't get to know your beliefs until you're initiated to each step. That's J.J. Abrams. Scientology and Lost are the same basic setup.
I'm going to show you nothing and convince you saw something.
Yeah, you go through. You show up every Thursday.
You have to go.
And then at the end, the end is like, what? They were Xenu. They were dead the whole time. You're like, what is this? But you're in too deep now, and I got you. It's a mystery box.
Well, it's like that's part of playing with perception too. Is ego, right? I mean, that's what we fight. COVID was the great. It woke a lot more people up than. I mean, that's the one good that came out of it.
Because you've got nothing to do but look into shit with your life.
We had a lot of extra time. But the thing is, like, then there's us wackos who were listening to Art Bell and going, listening to Alex Jones for fucking.
I didn't listen to none of it, and I'll tell you, I just looked at clips of Alex Jones from 5 years ago on Rogan's show, and most of the stuff he said is what I think now.
Yeah,
and I heard it back then and thought it was very stupid. And the thing is, it took me 5 years of looking up shit just to get to the point where the thing he blurted out manically, oh, that's what it is. Because you could never just tell somebody what the truth. It's so insane. It's so insane. And I'm not saying I know the whole story, but the stuff that I pieced together of it, I can see why it's going to be hard to have a disclosure. Because it ain't just like you're gonna have to rethink all these terms. The extra dimensional or if what. Nobody knows what the fuck they're even talking about, dude. Nobody even knows what anything is. All the terms that we made up for stuff are like little mental prisons that are gonna, like, have you noticed the amount of this stuff coming out? It's like half of it's UFO and half of it is like Bible. They're Nephilim. Like
there's a lot of people who think that aliens are demons. And
What's a demon? What is that? What is a demon?
It might be an alien. We don't know.
The other.
That's what I'm saying, like, what these are all just like terms everybody made, and everyone's you know, you get programmed young. The human nature is programmability. That's what the Anton LaVey Church of Satan teaches. That human nature is. Did you know that? That's the big secret. Which are right. It's not tabula rasa, you know, clean slate. It's programmability. So that means the program is coming from every part of the environment. But they know how, they've studied this, how to program people, and it goes back to Egypt. All those goofy pharaohs with their dumb headdresses. That's all a pageant. These priests were inbreeding idiots and telling them they're God, okay? And then tying them up with busy work of, like, you know, when you get to the afterlife, you have to tell the dog head guy 3 riddles in your heart and effect. You know that gibberish that's in their thing? That's to keep your mind busy with nonsense.
Well, what the priests had, this is just my belief. What the priests had was older technology. The priests had the Baghdad battery, so they could make electrical charges. They had
a lot of it's magic tricks and not even real anything. But where did they get here's the question to me is, like, where did you learn how to program people initially? So where'd that come from?
That
So
comes from way back. That comes from way back or somewhere else.
Well, what these creeps think is Atlantis. I don't believe them that they're related to Atlantis. I think that they're talking nonsense, much like a Korean that thinks he's Jesus. I look at it like, you know,
I believe it. There was an Atlantis, but I don't think it was Atlantis.
There was something, but the point is, you have to listen. So what I do is, the first book I would get is Tragedy and Hope by Carol Quigley, to understand the basic conspiracy, which is public record that he wrote. There's nothing about UFOs in it. It's all about Cecil Rhodes and the Anglophile network that took over everything. It's not the Jews. That's a brick in the wall, but the Anglophile network, and the Nazis come from them, not vice versa. Nazis are a farm team. Like every other thing, George Prescott Bush took the heat for financing Nazis for Rockefeller, because people say, you know, HW's dad financed Nazis. He didn't. It was Rockefeller. But Prescott took the heat. Don't worry, he turned out okay.
Yeah, he was perfectly stand-up guy.
Okay, we're like eugenics. The Nazis that got acquitted at Nuremberg would correctly call out that they were copying our eugenics program, because these people have never let go of that idea. And you hear people talk now that are into that. Well, what's wrong with that? Where people want to talk about racial science and creepy ass shit like that, and because they love that idea of eugenics. And the more of a nerd they are, and the weirder their dick is. Now, there's just a correlation I've noticed. There's something about being a nerd with a weird dick that makes you do some foul shit. You know, like Epstein had an egg-shaped dick.
Just piss you off.
How'd you know that?
What? About his dick?
Yeah.
Oh, I make it my business to know dick. Well, you guys don't get dick news?
I
You
don't.
get the newsletter.
Well, hey,
I think it's a first.
we know
From
about
his deposition. His deposition.
Yeah, it's a matter of record.
We know about Harvey Weinstein's because Gavin Newsom's wife described it.
Why did his wife
On
describe it?
record.
Because he whipped it out in front of her when she was an actress.
He whipped the stump of his dick out.
He whipped the little fish.
It's like curls
whatever
or
he
something.
had.
It's like,
Yeah.
I thought he had shot coke in it. You know, like you heard on.
Maybe, yeah, and that can go
Possibly.
bad.
It's not. It's not. He
It's
just
not?
had diabetes.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
does
I
that
wouldn't.
He's just such a
I
fat
wouldn't
fuck.
do coke, but I'd really not shoot it into your dick. Like that's.
Do you know what a maniac you have to be to do something that insane? Well, whatever. I mean,
Sounding with
People
coke.
have done it.
Ooh.
People.
look, if you're shooting it,
People have
now
done it.
look, if you are shooting, don't do that, please. But if you're shooting it, that means you've cooked the impurities out of it, and it's just the coke at least. But still, you don't want to shoot that into you.
Kerp, I convinced myself I wasn't an addict for a long time that I never shot up. Like I never, ever
Dude, meth,
shot up.
If you shot up meth, I don't think you'd be here right now.
No, I'd be dead.
Shooting up meth, dude. Nobody gets out of that.
Yeah.
No, I've been told by many people while doing coke, people that had stepped down to just coke,
Yeah.
like biker kind of like real gnarly kind of dudes that are like, that's their weed, is just doing cocaine now.
Yeah.
And
I'm sober. I'm just doing coke.
yes. Imagine
New
that.
California sober.
No, I lost a lot of well, quote unquote friends.
That's called Barstow sober.
Barstow. Yuma sober.
I'm Barstow sober. I just coke, dude. Nothing.
That's all.
Good.
I will not freebase cocaine. No
I will
more.
not freebase. I didn't freebase. I didn't fucking smoke. I didn't shoot.
Dude, I had
That
a
was
buddy.
a bridge too far.
I had a buddy that
Those
was.
were lying.
I just
His name
destroyed my nose. I can't
No,
breathe
yeah,
out of
that-
it anymore. So
Oh yeah, it'll fuck you right up. But I never did meth. I've never done meth, but I
fucking
know.
terrible.
Yeah. Well, were you doing like ice or like crank? Like, were you getting
crank.
pure
I was
meth?
in crank. Yeah,
Oh.
I didn't do that ice stuff. Ice was called back in the day. It was called glass.
So I thought that's the good kind.
That's the good kind, but you have to
right?
smoke that. You can't snort it. It
Oh,
will
I didn't know
fuck
that.
up your nose. It will. Well, Coke fucks up your nose too, like bad. But like it's like
Dude, the
snorting
stuff that
glass.
I mean, God knows what in the hell when I did that. That was not cocaine that I just put in my. But people on a dirty key. Are you disgusting house keys?
Oh my god, I'd snort it through fucking money. It's the dirtiest thing there is.
Through
like
money.
Through
My
money.
immune system must be
Yeah.
incredible
Yeah, dude.
because I didn't get a face-eating bacteria ever. If I think of like it really is like gross to think about now, but that's New York for you, dude. It's a
Yeah, it
prison.
is.
And,
Mm.
New York's a prison, and you
No.
live on top of each other.
Back to your perception thing real quick,
Yeah.
because I think it's fascinating. You've been in a big city. I've lived in a big city for 18 years, and I've experienced like walking downtown and you see all the homelessness and the people shitting on the street, it's much worse now, but it was always there. And how many very affluent people will continue to say their city is beautiful, it's great, they never want to leave it. And I'm sitting there going, how this place is a dump. San Francisco was
'Cause they don't
always
look-
a dump.
You
It
know
was
what makes it
never nice.
nicer? What makes it nicer is that those people are there. It really, the flavor of not living in that when you have
Yeah.
a lot of money. And it's such a nice thing to see is people
To see
living
like,
on the
oh,
floor.
look at those poor people. Somebody should
It's
help them.
it's in the Bible in Revelation where the children, of God, you will sing and look at everybody in hell forever and ever and sing the sweetness of the reward to know
Like,
that
I'm
somebody
here,
else.
you know.
Yeah, I'm here and you're there. What a mwah. That's why they love it and they never leave. Bill Maher thrives on looking down his giant nose at people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's his whole thing. If you hear a story about him showing up at a comedy club, he always can't hack it because he's like, I'm a monologuist. Like he can't just like be cool because he's accustomed to he's an Ellen DeGeneres territory of like, I'm,
Makes sense.
I don't think he's as abusive as Ellen, by the way, at all.
No.
But he was going to go back to work during the strike without his writers. And I'm like, how are you going to do that, Bill?
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen that. I was like, oh,
I wanted
please
him
do
to.
it.
Look,
I have
Please
friends
do it.
I have friends that write for him because I'm always asking, like, does he literally, he's so wrong about so many things. And I know it's good when he sometimes isn't
It's a dipshit.
100%. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I agree. But it's stunning. It's stunning how dumb these people that you think are supposed to know stuff are. They don't know anything.
Dude, he didn't
Especially,
know the World Economic Forum. He
oh,
didn't know the
Roseanne.
World
Dude, Roseanne goes, because she told me, she goes, yeah, you know what that is? What's that? He goes, Google it. That's right, Bill. Bill gets
Wikipedia.
calls from Bibi Netanyahu on the phone, by the way. So that's where in case you wanted a baffling.
I'm utterly shocked by that.
Yeah, yeah. And you can actually piece together like the factions of deep state that are fighting here kind of from their position. So we have Bannon on, who is very interesting. He's very, I want to talk to him more. I just wrote questions for Jimmy because that Dogecoin, where does it come from? A dog and coin, right? The
Mhm.
Shiba
Yeah, the
Inu.
meme.
Dude,
But that would be dog coin. So what? No. Doge, you know what a Doge is? It's the leader of the Venetian city-state. It's the oligarchic leader of the Venetian city-state. Peter Thiel and the boys have a thing called the network state they want to make. Elon doesn't like Peter. It's very Venetian, the way the whole thing works. But that was called a Doge. It was for 1,000 years they had that. And the Doge is like partly democracy and partly monarchical, which sounds like our current presidential system, doesn't it, a little bit? And then they would appoint someone to them who's called a podesta, which is really gross.
That's weird.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's real weird.
Huh.
Now, the
I'm gonna call
podesta.
my Doge Cobra Kai.
Yeah. So what
bad
these people want is to. I don't know what Elon wants. I don't think he's in charge of Trump. That
I
people
Googled
go. Yeah, the people think he's in charge. You don't know nerds.
Mm.
I talk to these nerds all the time.
He's
They ain't
been
in
allowed
charge
to
of
do
shit.
some stuff. He's billionaires love to compete. I like Elon, by the way. He's not perfect, and obviously is
I
bad.
don't know him. I don't know nothing about him.
But he was a good boss, dude. I work for him. You know,
Oh,
great fucking CEO. As far as like benefits,
that's out of the blue.
By far, by far the best benefits I've ever had.
Where?
Tesla.
You worked at Tesla and had the best benefits of any place you ever worked.
Any place I've ever worked.
I'm surprised because I thought it was not as good as that. I was very surprised.
No,
like I said, it's wild. You don't hear any. I've never heard that before, but that's a very interesting thing.
Vision, dental, medical, free.
Oh,
it's like
that's
the opposite
good.
of Amazon. Isn't Amazon horrible?
It is the opposite.
Drivers.
No, I mean, like I hate working for corporations as you know, just as principal. So it's always kind of rough for me. But when I had to do it, but for a corporation wasn't bad. But I think billionaires, their currency is fucking each other over and like they're in competition. Like my rocket's going to look like more of a dick than yours.
Dude, at the top, when you have all, see, it's not billionaires, dude. You think of them as middle class, if you'd like.
Yeah. When it's
we're talking about
powerful,
trillionaires.
Yeah.
The breakaway civilization is trillionaires. They exist. They're not going to be listed in Forbes. like Elon's the richest man in the world, and what does he do? Buy Twitter. Remember all that? Like he's not the richest man in the world, dum-dum.
Yeah.
He's not, but buying Twitter changed the world, and what he's doing right now is fucking great. Like whatever he's doing, I don't give a fuck what his motivation is. He doesn't need the money. So if it's to just make Jeff Bezos and
clout
or whoever,
the thing you got to watch out for. Here's what you're gonna have to watch out for. Okay, it's not. I'm like they're not gonna go far enough. Is my problem. And also what they did with Israel is unconscionable. And I hope there's a secret plan they're not telling us, because that was a genocide. That's real. Sorry. That's by the definitions of Nuremberg. The definitions we made after the Holocaust say it was. I didn't know that. I found that out recently. Well, sorry, everyone. So you watch your Douglas Murrays, who just got a facelift with his Hasabra money, right? Or these other people, and they spout nonsense. Just the bottom line is, you know a tree by its fruits. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense arboreally, but it does metaphorically. So let's see what it shakes out from it, and if it don't shake out right, don't be a chump and be loyal to these people above you.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a favorite billionaire. If you did the right thing, I like that you did that. That's
on
all.
that one issue. Yeah. I'm not going to root for you so wholeheartedly. Yeah, because
I'm not going to. You don't worship a false idol of a person. It's so simple.
I don't like. I work for Tesla. I was like. I knew about Neuralink. I wouldn't touch fucking Neuralink. I fucking hate driverless cars. I will never get in one as long as I fucking live. I know it's the future, but I will never fucking sit in a car that I can't fucking drive. And there's no way you'll ever talk me into it. There's no fucking way, because one EMP, all our cars are dead. One fucking hack, and we're all dead. Your car can get hacked. You give all of your freedom and control to whoever's in control of that fucking car. Fuck
well,
that.
I have some news. If you're worried about Neuralink, everybody, let me
Yeah.
tell you the good news. They don't need to put a chip in your head to program you anymore.
No, they don't.
Not since
Already
90.
started.
Yeah, no, it's been going on. Do you think bronies happen naturally? They don't.
And furries.
By the way, when
Furries.
people go, everybody watches too much pornography and it makes them transition. That's the thing I see a lot now. They just saw too much pornography. What? Pornography's been around for thousands of years. What's the big difference now? Oh, that's right. All them brain pills you put in kids now. Speed, SSRIs. So once you numb it's like how cocaine makes people depraved. Once you numb somebody's feeling, okay, and then the only way they can feel is to jerk off to a animated pony or something really warped, right? Because they can't, they don't feel. It's the big pharma aspect is so far reaching, and nobody understands it. They're all like, it's not a fault in people's moral character or some shit. I mean, the moral character fault is where you'll be taken down by it because it's direct attack on you, but it's not what it is.
Plain as day, Kurt. For one, it's all of the chemicals we're putting in our kids. It's big pharma hooking a giant, or as much as they can, many people as they can, on their products forever, and getting influential people to push it, including fucking movie stars. Like I think somebody really needs to do a study on how many celebrities have trans kids. It's got to be about, I don't know, 4,000% more than the normal.
Okay, do you want to know what that is? Those are galleys of Cybele. Cybele, the ancient Roman, well, Roman didn't like her, but Cybele is like this fat mother goddess with two lions. She's a big fat cat lady is how I look at her. And people in ecstasy would chop off their breasts or castrate themselves and go about shrieking in the street. That's an old writer describing them. So that's old religion. And the people that are into this stuff, they call it the old religion. That's what they call it. They don't call it Satanism or Luciferian. I mean, there's people that call those things that, but the people that are really doing it they call it the old religion because it involves a lot of different things. And they will push this stuff through over and over again. And when you see Clown World, everybody's making jokes and names about the thing, but they don't see what they're looking at. Like this is in Kathy O'Brien's book. I would get Transformation of America, TRANCE, Formation of America. If you want to know, a lot of it's. I could have started with that and saved myself a bunch of time if I had. Okay, I'd skip the forward of her boyfriend who used to be in the CIA. Just go right to her telling her story, and process that shit, and then go on because that's the lens to look at everything through. Because for some reason, both UFOs and SRA are the same story. You get sexually assaulted either by aliens or devil people who then give you an environmental message. So the aliens.
That's such it seems like it's an oversimplification, but it's an accurate.
Let's cut right to what happens. You get grabbed up, you're sexually assaulted, not probed, right? That's my joke. You wouldn't call it a probe if a Puerto Rican did it to you. Right?
It's a sexual assault.
Then they tell you to not pollute. They're like, oh, the earth is valuable. Thanks. Did you just force yourself on me, you big head creep, And then they erase your memory. So you have to get hypnosis to remember not to pollute and also your vicious attack from space. SRA is the same story.
Give up your poop, don't pollute.
So to me, this feels like focus groups. It feels like Disney bought reality and they are ruining it like Star Wars. Like they're doing focus tests. What do you like better? What ending do you like more? Aliens, or do you like it's like angels and demons? And it's the same themes. So if you go through enough stories, you pick up all the themes that are repeating and you're like, okay, what? And then you can start tracking, why is this narrative coming out now? And then the last thing I'd say, and this is why Dark Journalist is so good, and Control All History, and my friend Emma, Imagination Podcast, she talks to Monarch victims. Because you can piece together what the thing is. You can see where the narratives, it's just the way you would follow woke nonsense in stupid. And by the way, Disney should be over. Disney sucks. The stuff they made before, the Bavarian Nazi folktales they told us before, that was all programming also. Why is anybody a princess in their head or a prince? Why is that still being pushed?
I'm a poison.
Is that weird? Yeah, but like why that was on purpose to make you. So that's why people go, I'm with her to Hillary. It's to instill in you a sense of your betters so that you never go, hey, why are you lying to us? Instead, you attack the idiot next to you that's saying something stupid because that's the oldest way to divide and conquer people with nonsense. I mean, you've seen it for years, right? Just be owning a comic shop. You got to see literally USAID. You got to see the funded propaganda that they're allowed to put into stuff. It's just
the
awful.
Obama
in
cover,
other countries.
The Obama Spider-Man cover. Like, look,
dude, I bring it up.
Poor guy.
And Gary, people, because like Jimmy and them don't know about Spider-Man or whatever, and other people I talk to, that was one I remember. They were dropping Spider-Man on Afghanistan. That's why we won over there. So if you're wondering, our great propaganda. And that Pakistani chick they brought into Marvel, Samana Amanama.
Yeah.
Her dad's a friend of the Obamas. And once they passed the law, the Smith Modernization Act, where it's legal to propagandize your own citizens, she's now the person. So the plot, dude, the conspiracy, I call it a collusion. I don't use the word conspiracy. I call it a collusion theory.
Yeah.
The collusion, you could see it openly. It's so open. And it was like, so my friends that would go, well, Dick Cheney supports Kamala. What does that tell you? It tells me that Kamala's bad. idiot.
Yeah. That it tells me what I've always
You
known.
think that
They're all on the same fucking team.
I always say
They're on
like
the
this
same club
the
that
tent
we're
is
not
this
in.
big now.
Yeah.
It's like that's
Yeah.
a bad tent to be
You
in.
think that Dick Cheney's rehabbed by supporting Kamala in your world? Yeah. Yeah. How did that happen? That's
but he
not
was the
normal.
devil 5 seconds ago.
No, that's
he's still
that's
the devil.
Matthew O'Brien tells you their plans. This is in the 90s. They planned all this, and it happened. It all happened. All the things that people are worried about are rehashes of stuff from the 90s that they already did. it's just like the end of Watchmen, where the guy's like, I did my evil plan an hour ago while we were talking. That's what happened. And so, hey, why does everything make zero sense now? Because they've been doing it.
Yeah.
Once you see it, you'll never be able to unsee it. But they've been doing it, and you already know everything you heard a joke about how stupid it is. All the observational humor of Comic Dan Animated. Hey, well, on the ads for drugs, for prescription drugs, they go ask your doctor. He goes, shouldn't my doctor tell me something? Like, all these kind of jokes like that are because you're noticing that it's fucked up beyond belief. Okay, and so. People can't handle that all at once. They just can't.
It's stressful, and they rely on that, Kurt. So that's why COVID was such a wake up. It's not like it started with COVID. What Kurt
did not start with COVID.
Yeah.
It's been going on for a long time. You just had time to notice it. You're like, wait a minute.
They're all in fraternal orders.
Full of shit.
Let's say Bohemian Grove and Freemasons aren't evil, and they just burn a wooden boy in front of an owl.
Yeah,
that's all they're doing. The thing we know they do,
and then they donate to children's charities for future sacrifices. I mean,
what in the hell? Even burning, like if you want to say that's their Burning Man, well, Burning Man's an adult man. They burn.
Yes,
it's not a boy. Why are you doing that at all? You're supposed to be the religious right, and you're burning a boy in front of an owl in
a giant fucking owl.
Yeah.
That alone,
California.
that alone should tell you something's profoundly wrong. You don't even need to know if they did anything else except that one thing you saw on tape, and that I don't care about what you think they say or whatever. What are their actions? And if you're worried about their religion, well, that religion is probably not the religion they are 9 times out of 10.
Yeah,
that's as Hillary's emails taught us. There's a forward-facing position and a private position.
Yep.
Okay, so just go on that principle. Now with Trump, I got to go, but I'll tell you this: with Trump, I think he doesn't have any blackmail on him. That's why they hate his guts.
Yeah,
he doesn't do drugs.
Yeah.
All his fornications were done in the open.
Yeah.
So what are they going to get on him? They have to make stuff up. In fact, I would never think Trump is as innocent of crimes as he apparently is, based on the failed, relentless nonsense. Anybody who's not an idiot could tell you they weren't going to go anywhere. The whole time they were going. And Jimmy, who is a leftist, he is not right wing at all. He's a leftist. That should also trouble you that you don't get to pick what side you're on. They're going to tell you based on going with the cows or not. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to go off your principles. That doesn't matter. It's going to be like that. You're going to see these idiots like Destiny and like
Ouch.
the Horse Lord and all that shit. And you're like, where do they come from? Oh, they're probably funded. Why? Only crazy people like it. Like
no, the U.S. AIDS as it's going to probably be used as a lot as an excuse, but it did just they peeled just a teeny bit back, and we saw some bullshit. And it's like there's a lot of us like, it's been there the whole time. Yeah.
What we've been talking about.
They were paying for Medicare outside of America to the tune of like trillions of dollars. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So other countries were paying for their Medicare for all.
I was listening to your breakdown of it on the way up to Wisconsin. I was listening to you and Jimmy talking about.
Dude, that's worse than if QAnon was real. The fact that they paid for healthcare for other countries and not you, that's grounds for more anger than any. I mean, how many hints do you need that they're not that into you? Dude, Jimmy has a book he wrote called "Your Country's Not That Into You," and guy, I'll be damned if that ain't exactly what it is. Yeah. How many hints do you need for you to stop acting like a wife that gets cheated on and doesn't know?
Yeah,
like how many hints do you need? Well, a bunch of people are locked in, dude, and I don't think that's natural. I think that's years and years of better than North Korea by a mile propaganda.
Subtle.
It's
and not so subtle. They're subtle and not so subtle.
All them people screaming about Trump, didn't they look like North Koreans crying about Kim Jong-il? And then the people watching it, I watch clips of people like it's almost like they're jerking off to it. So there's almost like becomes an OnlyFans of you got owned by the other party, and then the other party jerks off to it. Basically, I mean, it's unbelievable. You could just see these people get sucked into it, and then people just want that. They want that stupid conflict, and they get mad at you for telling them the truth. They'll get mad at you, and they'll get uncomfortable. It's unbelievable.
No, like the best way we've moved forward. The reason, like, I still love this country, and I've had a lot of success in it, and a lot of failures, but it allowed me to raise up. But also knowing that most of what I was seeing from the government was bullshit. My little wake up call, Kurt.
That's how Iraq felt about their country.
Yeah,
that's how all the countries feel about their country. They love their country. They think their government stinks. That doesn't mean they like you, They don't like you, motherfucker. Why are we over there doing anything?
Why? No. Why? Because we wanted oil. That was it. We wanted oil. Dude, it took me forever to figure out. I'm like, what the fuck is in Afghanistan? What's in Afghanistan? There's no oil. There's a bunch of minerals. There's a bunch of fucking minerals. Okay.
You know how we left all our equipment behind? Oh, what a terrible mistake.
Whoopsie.
Yeah,
they didn't disable it well. Well, that's part of the payment. So they also paid them millions of dollars. I already knew this. I saw a video of these Taliban with these sandcastles of money they built, of American money all around them, because we gave them a bunch of stuff and we gave them money because they're in the lithium triangle.
Yep.
It's not being reported at all. And also, we can train more Islamofascism, the threat of that we made. CIA. Warning Micah's dad. Zerbigniew Brzezinski. He's the George Martin fifth Beatle of Al Qaeda. We made those groups, and it's common knowledge. Rambo 3, I believe, is all about it.
Yes.
They thank him in the credits at the end.
Yeah, the Mujahideen.
Yeah.
So that ain't secret. How do people then get mad that they exist? You're not mad at your government that made them?
Right.
Benjamin Netanyahu paid Hamas for 20 years. He supported Hamas openly, not a secret. He said, we have to support Hamas to prevent a two-state solution. For 20 goddamn years. And then all those people that died, you know why they died? It's called the Hannibal Directive. I'm getting T-shirts made of it, like it's a band. If you think that an Israeli is going to be taken hostage, they have instructions to kill them, so they're not taken hostage. So all those deaths were from the IDF under the Hannibal Directive. And you know how I know? Because the guy Bibi just fired said it on Israeli news. Will tell you all this stuff honestly that you won't hear from Douglas Murray or Michael Rappaport. But that's just one. Don't get too hard on Israel, because their genocide isn't even a tenth of what we did. That's why they go, why are you hypocrites? Because we went and slaughtered 90% innocent people. That's what Obama did. The drone warfare killed. That's not collateral.
Too.
Collateral damage would be if you happen to hit a terrorist. They just killed their male population off. So that, to me, now you've crossed over whether Obama believes in this or not. That's a massive blood sacrifice in my world. Whether you think you were doing it for that reason or not, what was the point of slaughtering those people? To put blood in the ground. That's all at the end of the day. Yep. And you could tell yourself it's whatever. But those people know what you did.
He was hope. He was hope and change, Kurt.
Yeah.
Well, stop.
With a propaganda poster. His
Dude,
his campaign was a propaganda poster.
No, nobody. It's okay when we do it. And so, like, all the thing with China. Okay, China's our enemy. Well, why is everybody like in league with them?
Including us.
Why are we making our weapons of? We're
still making viruses there. We're still at that lab.
Yes,
there are adversaries. So I don't understand that. All I can say is the borders you think there are clearly are not there. It's probably like that movie Network where it's the international corporation, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's, you don't get to know what the actual lines are on the globe. That's above your pay grade, you know?
You're a pleb.
And that's why they poison you like a goose. And like how they used to claim foie gras was made. And they shove stuff in your gut. And then maybe you'll poop out a golden egg for them once in a while.
Microplastics in your ball sack.
Like the coral reefs, my taint is shrinking.
Exactly.
No, the coral reefs are back, but not the taints.
Since I've gotten away from like uber processed foods, I feel like 1,000 times better. I feel more awake. I sleep better. Everything better.
I've been eating a lot of fried chicken myself.
That's not good for you. Tastes good.
I mean, gusses I get out here.
Kurt, do you think we're on a trajectory in a positive way or a negative way? Do you think we're continuing to be in this matrix, or more
I
people
think
awake now?
you can't put toothpaste back in the tube. So once a few things start to leak out, it's inevitable. That's why even if you have a redacted Kennedy thing, like the people that are really smart that are going to go over it are going to find all the connections and make them. I think everything's been disclosed, but you didn't know. That's what I think. Because that's part of that religion. Is they have, it's like a iTunes disclaimer that nobody reads. They've told you everything, but you have to find it. And a bunch of people have snitched on what happened to them. Some people are crazy and some people are liars and disinformation. So you have to look at everything. But it starts to become apparent if you look at enough stuff.
What?
I'll just hear you out. I just want to hear something interesting that I never heard before. That's all. Yeah. If I'm bored, I know you're lying to me because I've heard that lie before. If I'm not bored, maybe you told me a new lie. Maybe you told me something true. But I'm looking at so much stuff, I'm going to cross-check that anyway. You know, and it's absolutely, you can figure this stuff out. You absolutely can. The main thing is not to get trapped on a treadmill of one stupid, you know, like your flat earthers or your Tartaria people.
Yeah.
I call it retardia.
I'm just kidding.
You know, the ancient city of retardia. It's not a thing. It's just
that's where I'm from. I was born there.
Yeah, retardia. It's just
retardia.
Because you'll start to see they're just taking the Atlantis thing and repackaging it over and over again.
Yeah,
Mormons repackage Atlantis. They don't know that, but it's a metaphorical overlay. Daniel calls it on there, and it's true. You there's stuff now where like, no, there's an ice wall, and then there's a whole new continent, like an anime, beyond the ice wall. And I'm like, is that really different from space to you? Not to me, it's not. It just sounds like, so basically I have to take a boat instead of a rocket, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think people put that together because they won't look at all the different like stories. You got to look at all the stories and pick out the themes and be like, why are they telling me this one over and over again? You know, like, but you could do it though. It's not you just got to not settle on nothing and be open to evidence. And then what happens is if you just look at old news from not that long ago, you can cross check all this stuff and then it gets real creepy.
That's what with UFO books in particular and catastrophist books. I've been reading ones from the 50s, and it's
Joseph P. Farrell. Joseph P. Farrell has the best. Most of the stuff Lou Elizondo spews, that agent of Chris Mellon, most of that is just reworked over old stuff from much smarter people that they're stealing, and they're repackaging it and acting like it's a disclosure.
I love how you put it on Joe Rogan that I risked my career to tell you that I might know something.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, yo, tell me the whole thing or go fuck yourself, dude.
Yeah. And he's been saying that since 2017.
No, break your oath to the scumbag criminals that made you take an oath, or you're not shit. Edward Snowden's a hero. Lou Elizondo's not a hero. Edward Snowden's a hero because he actually was loyal to the Constitution I thought we all believed in.
Yeah.
Not to the Intel Coven. So all the people, if anybody that's really blowing the whistle, guess what? They got to move to Russia. That's a fact.
Yeah.
They're not going to get to live here and be okay. There's no such thing as a whistleblower on the goddamn government that still lives with that government. That doesn't exist.
Walking into with security clearance, that's walking in and talking to Congress on a nationally televised press conference where they don't say shit.
Yeah, and I don't think you're a hero for that. Like, I don't know that David Grush is lying because he didn't really say shit. He said shit that I've heard. So it's like, okay, what did you even do? Like, what else should I care about this? And I heard that Russ Coulhart's a creep in ways that are really disturbing because that guy knows more than he's letting on, and he is fucked with victims of Monarch, I've been told.
Ooh.
And
so
he's got
Monarch people. If you know Joss Whedon's show Dollhouse, kind of like that a little bit.
It's in a lot of movies. Yeah. It's in that Zoe Kravitz movie, Blink Twice.
Yep.
In fact, I wrote to the author of it. The guy, he hasn't got back to me, but I'm curious what he knows because they don't put the half of it, and the ending's disturbing because the ending is, oh, don't worry, now a black woman's going to be doing the mind control, so it's fine.
So the good people have control.
That is Hollywood morals all the way. It's like, no, we don't want to.
You got to use the Death Star. I don't know that kid's fucking animation channel. He's not a kid, he's a man. But the thing where they keep the Death Star, like, oh, it's a nice Death Star. You don't want to.
I think a good analogy of kind of, unless of course I'm not following you all. If we think about Hollywood and we think about Corey Haim or any of the kids who have come out and said they were diddled, but they were all discredited, they were all on drugs. Well, they were on drugs because they were diddled. So they're all completely fucked up. So they're easy to discredit. A lot of that happens with what Kurt mentions. There's government whistleblowers and people who come out and say shit all the time, but we're like, they're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And it maybe like one or two of those are the ones we should be. Corey Feldman. Did I say Corey? Oh, Corey Feldman. And
Both of
Well,
them.
Feldman,
It applies
Feldman.
both
What
ways.
I think, and this is not a fact, I'm just telling you what I think, is Feldman. The one he chickened out of was Spielberg. The name he was afraid to say. Was
yes,
Spielberg.
I think so too.
And that brain chip, there was people trying to kill Spielberg in the 90s, and then there was someone trying to grape him in front of his family. Some guy from some actor who, while he's making Saving Private Ryan, stalked Spielberg with a kit with duct tape and box cutter because his plan was to grape. I can say grape, right?
Yeah,
Spielberg in front of his family. Now, why would you want to do something like that? It sounds like payback to me. That's what it sounds like to me.
Crazy.
Because I can't think of how that would even get.
We don't know a tenth of the depravity from that town. It's bad. It's
a lot of them are OTO. A lot of that blood, they get blood prostitutes. They're called. Like the guy who's got his son's blood to stay young. That's an old ass industry, and they've been doing that for quite some time. They got all kinds of creepy things that they have done. I'm still like trying to understand what the hell adrenochrome is, because it's if you hear Jim Caviezel talking about it, I'm like, dude, first of all, you're Catholic, so I don't want to hear about kids being victimized from you at all. Okay, Mel Gibson, what are you talking about? You're part of the biggest child trafficking group that's ever lived, the Vatican. What are you talking about? Right?
He talked about on Joe Rogan that he left because he didn't like what they were doing at the Vatican.
Well,
Yeah,
Vatican too. He's a Vatican. There's some kind of force behind all this that's a Vatican I Catholic. And I can tell because Steve Bannon kept dropping in that schools used to be better, and he kept saying Catholic schools. And he kept referring to Iran as Persia. So there's some faction, but like I said, it's not one thing.
Templar kind of thing.
Who knows? It's all these factions are like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones kind of had, because all these people study history. George R. Martin's just looking at history. So all that dragon talk and all that, like he's pulling that from somewhere. And all these people think they're
dragon
like that,
believer, by the way.
Yeah, dude, all these people believe in much goofier, gayer stuff than dragons.
Yes.
The people that fund the science, the rational science. Okay, as a physicist, you're a rational materialist. Hey, that's great. You wouldn't even have your fucking job if some goofball with royal blood who believes in Atlantis didn't pay you to have your job. So, do you ever think about that? Like the people that are much bigger than you that can tell you what the science is if they don't like what you found with your science.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically like a comedian or an actor. You ain't shit. and the funding is what matters. And so why do the people that are super in charge of everything, why do they believe in wild, like bizarre things that are unscientific? It's very strange, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's very strange that like you said, I'm not a religious person, but if people are religious, that's cool. But being shamed for it when these motherfuckers believe in the craziest fucking stuff, and like
just goop.
It's
goop.
fucking
Paltrow's goop. That was a popularized thing. That's like the lighter side of it, but you don't think they get into since the 60s, especially.
Oh God, yeah.
And so people get caught up in like, oh, is Taylor Swift a psyop? Idiot. All of the music is that.
Yeah.
There's only like 3 producers.
Well,
no, there's the same music.
Yeah, her music is an algorithm. Paul Joseph Watson did a video back in 2015 on an Atlantic article that talks to the 2 or 3 producers that you're talking about, which were from
Dr.
metal
Luke.
bands in Europe that figure out an algorithm and hooks. And it's all the fucking same.
Why do those things work? Because they're studying mind control techniques, Edward Bernays advertising techniques. That's mind control. It's not fantastical. It's a thing that exists that is used every day on you. They call it a nudge sometimes during the COVID times. We just got to give you a nudge. It's so not hidden. You can't call it a conspiracy because a conspiracy is hidden.
Forced
you can look it up.
They say that BlackRock, the head of BlackRock, forced behaviors. He literally said it. They always just tell you. That's the confidence that they have.
Well, the arrogance.
What are you going to do about it? Nothing.
Yeah,
That's
what are you going to do?
You're going to go to a football game, or you're going to go to a stupid Marvel movie. What the fuck are you going to do? Not a goddamn thing. So yeah, they could just say it to you.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Just not lie for fucking advertising.
That would be nice.
For start. Here's an idea. you don't have to be correct. You could be wrong, like dead wrong. Just don't lie. You can't do that. That's all you have to do. Literally, if everybody did that, it's the thing's over. Well, none of the shit that happened the last how long? Your life
again. Where you give Trump credit, like he went on fucking Joe Rogan for 3 fucking hours with nobody else, right? And
why is that so unusual? That should disturb you.
That should not be unusual at all. It should be a requirement of every politician, not just Joe, but like just be able to sit down with somebody uninterrupted, no edits for 3 fucking hours and have a conversation.
Because we've been playing this pageantry, this fake facade display.
You're on the team, right? Hey, you were the quarterback on the football team, right? And so you get your team mentality, and you're like, I want my team to win, don't I? I don't want to lose. Right. Oh, hey, that's making right-wing headlines to talk about that. I better not. Oh, that might help. Like, that's helping our enemy. That's helping Putin to tell the truth about that situation that we happen to be 100% wrong in. America's the one that's wrong in that Ukraine. Well, not now, because they're going to end that shit. Yeah, I knew it was fucking bullshit right out of the gate.
We fucking overthrew their democratically elected. You mentioned this on Jimmy Dore. The CIA in their existence have overthrown how many governments in the 60s? Between 47 to 60 or something like that. And the vast majority of them were democratic governments.
Yeah, because furthering democracy actually means furthering the interests of like whatever we want of what they have. We're democracy. Like I am the science. So whatever I say is science. We are democracy. So whatever bullshit that you see a dipshit TV reporter say to it wasn't JD Vance. She said to somebody she goes, well, free speech was used to bring about the Nazis.
Rubio. Yeah.
And Rubio, who's a I'm
deep,
sure they
deep state as they get. Yeah, not my
favorite. His folder of blackmail. Trump must have it now. Yeah, that's how I take his.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, and he goes, well, that's not. I mean, that's such an insane. But that's the natural conclusion you get after the last 10 years of all that bullshit, right?
Yep.
All right, I gotta run.
Hey, thanks for coming on, brother. I'll see you soon when I get back in Texas.
All right, yeah.
Shows on, bro. I want to
come to our mothership. All right, bye, guys.
Love you, man. Kurt Metzger, my boy. Cool. One of my favorite comments of any video was, and I sent it to him too. I was watching the Joe Rogan thing, and it said, "No one interrupts Kurt more than Kurt."
This is correct.
So good.
I love riding the train, the Kurt train.
He is a stream of consciousness that I have a little trouble keeping up with, but I fucking love him to death. Thanks, everyone. Hurricane Kurt, and he's funny as hell. He's a true blue comedian. Doesn't give a shit about some sitcom or anything. So if you ever get a chance,
fake.
No,
he's not fake at all.
And his shows are brilliant. They're really fucking good. So if you get a chance to see him in town, please go see Kurt. Man, he is he's got a different view of life. Plus, because he grew up in Jehovah's Witness, right? So it gave him an interesting perspective.
Yeah,
an interesting perspective. Woo. So disclosure, guys, which
where are we at with this disclosure? I thought we were gonna
get the big revelation. It was a fucking egg, and we went over it. And like, again, I'm into this stuff, but the war, so Lou Elizondo and Stephen Greer are fighting. Wilcock is always crazy, and then there's like Richard Dolan is like, I'm just trying to fucking research stuff, and then there's like Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp who are caught up in this. And, I'm not a fan of George Knapp's TDS. I think it's fucking ridiculous. I think.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Well, he's all of a sudden calling out the government when he didn't do it with Biden for the last 4 years. If you're going to call out Trump all you want on UFOs, I don't care. But be consistent. And that's the thing is like all of a sudden, like you saw like TDS destroyed ufology too. It destroyed Hollywood. It's broken a lot of things. Because all of a sudden, like ufologists were thinking, well, the government are the good guys. They're not the good guys. They're the ones who went out and disappeared, unended some ufologists. There's two separate streaks of scientists who were ended over this. That one was in around the 2010s, one was in the early 2000s. Art Bell covered both of them. Maybe Y-Files, maybe they have done. Maybe they'll do an episode. That'll be kind of a spicy episode.
Yeah.
But maybe they can do one on. Maybe we
It's
can
probably
do
on
one.
their list of.
I can do some research and I'll bring up. There was about 10 or 11 scientists died within a couple of months of each other.
We should definitely do that.
And then a few ufologists died within a year. And it was really, really strange and coincidental. Really so they're not our buddies. I think they are going to give us some truth, and I'd be happy to do it. I think Dolan he talked about breakaway civilization. Dolan's written a book on that. Go read it. It's fucking great. And I think he just released a book. I don't think it's on audiobook, or is going to on USOs. And it's part 1, and it's from like the beginning of time to 1969, and can't wait to read it.
What's a USO?
It's underwater. It's an underwater UFO.
Oh, okay. That's my problem with UAP is like it's not always in the air. It's in the water. It's transdimensional.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
I
think
air.
UFO. I don't need UFO can cover all that for me. An unidentified flying object can go in the water. It could be in space. It could be interdimensional. The fact that when they branded that like Hillary Clinton tried to push it is just automatically makes me reject it every single time.
It just feels like one of those scenarios where they have lost the use of that control of that term, so they're going to change it to something else. It's the arrow.
Yeah, we want to control the narrative, and that's what this is about. That's their disclosure will be to benefit the military industrial complex. So they might tell us some shit.
That's what it feels like.
But it'll be to benefit, and even Grush has come out and said this is like this might be the motivation, and I think it is. I know there's like Greer is one of them who thinks that if you can travel this far, they're benevolent, like they don't want to hurt us. I think that's bullshit. I think there are probably some who like us, and some I think as below, so above. I think there's different factions, there's different motivations, there's obviously different species. They probably have different forms of consciousness, they probably have different morality, and we're just probably insects to them. And if they step on us, they're not going to try to step on us, but if they do, they're not going to think much of it. So that's what I think we're dealing with, but there's definitely something out there. What we didn't get to, what we could talk to is the asteroid that might be on its way.
Oh yes, the 2% now. It's 2%.
2%. So it's the size of what? A bus? Maybe. It's big enough to be like if it explodes in the atmosphere over a city, it'll wipe out a lot of that city. I think Tunguska wasn't much bigger than that, right? So Randall was out there. We're starting to see some podcasts from him. It's been a while since I've seen podcasts from Randall. It's been a long fucking time. But
a lot bigger than a bus.
Do you need okay, that's a lot bigger than a bus. Do you need to worry about an asteroid hitting Earth? Yes. More than climate change, more than any of this, more than fucking greenhouse gases or CO2 in the atmosphere. This should be the thing that worries us every single fucking day. Fuck climate change. You know what's going to change the climate? An asteroid.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have an asteroid defense system.
It's gone up to 2.3% now, which I think is still kind of worrisome. We have no way to stop it or anything. Something that's massive
it lands in the ocean,
change our world.
I'm putting all of my money on it not hitting us.
I mean, that's a fair bet.
I'm putting it all in on it's not hitting us, but it could destroying us.
Something doesn't even
safe bet.
Okay, in the past, things have grazed us, and that's been catastrophic.
I think the fact that it's possible, which we already know it is possible because we've seen in history, right, is enough to start thinking about how do we avoid it? How do we stop it from happening?
So our boy Ben,
it could be way worse next time.
Talks about the sun. There ain't shit we can do about that, but we can do something about this. Yeah, so we're screwed with the sun. Yeah. We're just fucking screwed. But this we can do something about, I think.
Well, now
there a movie about this?
Well, we can move asteroids. They did the DART mission.
Yep.
3 years ago, I believe, where they actually went and basically ran into and changed the trajectory of an asteroid. So it was
Randall's
significantly smaller than.
There's massive commercial. Yeah. There's massive commercial opportunities with this because of the minerals that are in asteroids. The problem is we probably have the technology to get to some right now. But it's these minerals limited amount on Earth that makes the demand, that makes people rich.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if we
Like
all of a sudden,
diamonds.
like diamonds is bullshit.
Yeah.
Diamonds
Right,
is all
there's
bullshit.
planets
Gold's not
filled
bullshit.
with
Gold's hard to get, you know, and you
Right.
got to find it. But diamonds are bullshit.
Look up Psych 16.
Yeah.
Psych 16. It's got 10,000 times the global
Yes.
combined GDP
Mhm.
of every rare earth mineral that you can ever want. It would basically just destroy all
We would-
economies.
Yeah. Every economy.
Right? Or the person
destroyed.
who gets there
Destroyed.
first would then just become the richest person in existence
Yep.
and just control everything. Right?
One thing the
I mean, it's
Expanse did
giant.
right with the Belters, you know, working on the and we had the military break off with the Mars and we had Earth. But the most valuable thing to the Belters became oxygen that they had to get from Earth. So that was like a good part of that story. Felt very believable.
Yeah.
Then it went off the rails for a few books, but yeah, that's what happened in 2016. What do we got here? What the asteroid with the 1 in 48 chance of, I don't like those odds, Garrett,
Yeah. I don't like those odds at all.
of
Yeah,
hitting
that's-
Earth in 2032 looks like. Let's take a look. How big is it again, Adam? Did you say it's bigger than it's
According to this that I'm reading, it is between 130 and 300 feet. That's huge.
Yeah.
okay, so that is that's about the size of what landed in Arizona, right? I think that's
Meteor
around that
crater?
size. Yeah, meteor crater. It's got a name. I keep
Chelyabinsk
forgetting.
In 2013, it had a similar something that came and injured 1,000 people.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah.
That's on tons of Russian dash cams. I was obsessed with that for months. I'd watch that, and the biggest takeaway is the sound wave.
I guess the angle really makes a big difference, whether
Yep.
it's hitting directly and piercing right through our
like-
atmosphere, or bouncing off, you know, and
More
deflecting,
horizontally.
or you know, because it can hit us, but go through a lot of atmosphere, which
Mm.
would burn a lot of it up, which would be
But
great
it
for
also
us.
pushes that atmosphere down, which
True.
burns a lot of it up. But if you hit the right angle, it pushes the atmosphere down, and it also has a bigger fucking explosion. And it's like, you know, it's like lighting off a nuke in the atmosphere.
Right.
Right. And if that happened, if that one in 2013 happened over New York, people would have died. Lots of people would have died.
Mhm.
But yeah, that 2013 one, what was it?
Chicxulub?
No,
Oh no, it was
In chat, it's
Chelyabinsk.
Yeah.
Chelyabinsk.
I don't know how to say
Bow,
that.
bow. That's it.
Chelyabinsk.
Bow, chicka, bow, bow. That was it.
It's just wild to me that we'd have, you know, they probably do have a way to push it away or negate it or something, but there's like no discussion or concern. It's just like a
Public,
foregone
yeah.
conclusion. Like, yeah, it's an asteroid. Give it, bring it on. Let's go.
And when would be a good time? Because hitting it could cause, you know, different
Well,
parts of it to deviate
if you
off
break
and
it
still
up.
hit.
You can't blow
That's
up an asteroid, because what they found out is it just reforms and then it makes a ball of little asteroids.
Right.
It could literally make it worse. So
Well-
you have to move it.
Okay.
Yeah, the ideal thing would not be to run into it, because that was just kind of the first initial test with DART. It would make more sense to attach
Yeah.
to it
And
and
nudge it.
control it,
Yeah.
and just lead it into the sun. Like, and you're
Yeah.
gone. No more. You're no longer a threat.
You could do that with rockets that you could catch with tweezers, just like Elon's working on. You just land the rocket on the side of this
Mhm.
asteroid with a payload of, like, you know, a bunch of extra fuel, and then rocket shoot, push it away.
Our space program has been a massive waste of money, and it's a
Dude,
fucking joke.
where's it
And
been?
Elon has proven that.
It's true.
NASA's
Chopsticks.
sorry to anybody who works there, but it's a fucking joke. They're wasting your resources and time and your brain by being there, and it doesn't want to discover anything. Like, how do we had a shuttle that worked? Why did we stop why didn't we not improve it? We could have certainly done that. Why did we just fucking stop? Why did we stop going to the moon? It's because government money, government bureaucracy. We're going to the moon in a couple of years.
Yeah, they kicked it back up
Artemis.
suddenly.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're like,
Artemis
oh crap, we
is
can't
going-
look that.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the first test one
Soon.
goes next year, right? The first they're going to do some test flights, not unmanned, right?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, strange that we're starting to do that
awesome.
now.
All of a sudden, now.
But yeah, planetary defense system. That's something we should do, but we don't. But climate change, folks. Greenhouse gases.
That's the one.
They're going to raise the
Also,
temperature.
we need comic books of transgenders in
For real.
Peru.
Oh no.
We need
All those
you know,
transgender
drag
people we
shows.
met there.
plays and drag shows.
Yeah.
We need
In the Middle
Irish DEI music.
Whatever that
That-
is, we need it,
don't
and we need a
understand what
lot
that
of
is.
it. Okay, so like millions and millions of dollars, billions of dollars will go all over the world into sock
Medicare
accounts that will be
Going
sent out by
to
NGOs.
people who do not live in this country.
Yes,
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
That's one that is so funny because it's been the talk. Oh, we're so enlightened over here in Europe, and we've got all these things. We have all the Medicare; it's free for everyone. Well, how are you paying for that? Turns out we were paying for it.
We were paying for it.
Turns out we were paying for it. Oh,
Not anymore.
so annoying. I hope that they're able to uncover everything that they possibly can and they end it all. We'll see.
Yeah.
Is it true that
Accountability,
they're trying
for
to
sure.
audit Fort Knox? Is that
God.
It
true?
hasn't been done.
Did you hear about that?
Like ever?
When was the last time?
There's no gold in it. That's
there's nobody
why.
allowed to.
There's no fucking gold there.
Do it.
You don't know that one? Yeah, the gold's gone.
Yeah,
it's gone.
It's
Sure,
mystery.
I'm sure it's gone.
Yeah, it's all.
It's like Schrodinger's gold.
yeah, yeah.
You can't check it. Okay, nobody audit. 'Cause once you get eyeballs in there, and everybody will
funny.
know.
Yeah.
It's a
I
big
mean,
joke.
it's like this
Yeah.
every tax season. I feel like a fucking idiot,
like a sucker.
Especially now.
like a complete sucker.
I
But
feel like
this
all
year,
citizens should just get a no. You don't have to pay taxes this year.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They're like,
Yeah.
no,
And
we'll just
all
use these
past
billions.
taxes are forgiven.
Yeah. Because fuck, dude. It's
It
like
should be.
ridiculous at this point. We're seeing how much corrupt, ridiculous expenditures that they've been doing. And not just expenditures like the money's gone, like the money's still there in some cases. 20 billion scrolled away in an account, just sitting there, slowly doling out money to organizations over time.
yep. Good thing.
Let's just
can
pay
just-
ourselves.
I just get an extension and put it off as long as possible because I just don't want to say that because I have to do extra work for my taxes. That's why I do an extension.
That's difficult work.
It's really
I hate
hard.
taxes.
I'm retarded.
There we go.
Taxation stuff, literally.
What did Kurt talk about? I have no idea.
Everything, baby. Just got to
My
be there.
notes are such a
Everything. Just go
jumble
back and
from-
rewind it. I'm pretty sure you can rewind on Rumble now. But
Yeah. Yeah.
because
I
this
did
is
think the
probably going to be
breeding
taken
program-
off of YouTube.
The
So,
breeding program was interesting because when he started going on about that, I was like, he is making way too much sense.
Well-
Why did I not think of that?
okay, kingship comes from the gods. That's
Right.
what we hear in every tradition. If you go back to Babylon and all that, kingship, Egypt, kingship was handed down from the gods and it was based on bloodlines. That has to be DNA. Okay. And we followed that for a long time. Now, yes, if you were a king, you would tell people that your kingship was handed down from a god. I get your motivation there. It gives you some legitimacy. But that's what all the traditions say. And if you go back and you can watch ancient alien episodes on this or any documentaries, you can see the little helix, the little you can see the DNA, what looks like the DNA strand in rock art and shit. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Have you seen the AI where they take the Mesopotamian rock art and it
No.
starts walking and stuff? Oh, it's fucking cool as hell.
Cool. No, I haven't
It's
seen
cool as hell. It starts moving. It starts
Hmm.
moving. Anointed by the gods. Yep. I mean, I'd say that if I was a king too.
Oh,
I was thinking the other night, like nobody's made a, don't say don't say SG1. Okay, SG1's good, but I mean, nobody's made a proper like Atlantis movie. like a
Yeah.
proper one.
What,
That's a
what
good
about
point.
Atlantis, the Disney movie? I
The
like that
Disney
movie.
was the
Like
closest.
I
I
said,
think.
nobody's made a proper Atlantis
Proper.
I
movie.
like that movie.
Okay,
It's a good movie.
I mean, like Lord of the Rings, but Atlantis.
Oh hell yeah, that would be.
That would be like
And
tell the
based
story,
on like
not just the destruction, lead up to the destruction, like go into some of the
All of it.
lore of like how they built their civilization, who they fought,
right, the technology they had.
Yeah,
That would be really interesting.
it'd be fucking awesome.
We should write it.
And Gary's next
Soon
book,
as I-
maybe.
As soon as I'm done with YouTube, yeah,
He's already writing a book right now.
I'm writing it. Well, yeah.
Not even out yet.
Actually, it would have been out if I had finished doing my final read, which I'm about a third of the way through, and then circumstances kind of got in the way.
Damn.
Oh shit, it's been crazy a couple weeks, dude. But yeah, like Lemuria versus Atlantis. That's absolutely out. Okay, I was listening to the Y-Files compilation. I admit it. The one about mounds and pyramids and stuff. And they get into, and I'm like, somebody needs to write this book. Somebody needs to make this movie because it'd be fucking badass. It'd be absolutely badass.
I read a book. It's I think it's like The Long Sleep, The Deep Sleep. It kind of it's like the opposite of that. Instead of like the lead up to the calamity that ends the world, it's like hundreds of years after the calamity happens and everybody goes back to being like feudal kings and lords and stuff. The Big Sleep. No, it's not The Big Sleep. But it was an interesting concept, but it ended up being just climate change. That's what it was. It was the old humans are bad, and that's why we killed ourselves. What was that called?
I don't know the 10,000 BC, the Roland Emmerich one with the guy from The Expanse in it that had like the last Atlantean was in the pyramid and stuff. I wanted way more of that than him like fighting a saber-toothed tiger or whatever the fuck. I watched it so long ago, but that was somewhat Atlantean. Yes, it had like the last surviving member of Atlantis, and he had like radiation poison or something, and they always had to wipe him down or something. Remember, he was behind a veil. You didn't watch it?
No.
Yeah,
I remember the poster very vividly.
So I think it's called 10,000 BC, and it's got the dude from The Expanse in it, and like he basically takes on the king who was in an Egyptian pyramid, but it's the last Atlantean. Yeah.
Wow.
And he's like behind a veil. You never get to see him. But it looks like he has like radiation poison or something like that.
10,000 BC, you said?
Yeah. Came out like 2010. Chat, help me. I saw it once, 2008. I saw it once, and it was like, yeah, it kind of sucked. But
good concept, though.
Good concept. 2006 or 2008?
2008.
It's on Tubi.
2008. Yeah. I remember this poster. Wasn't interested at the time when I was a kid, so.
It's called Rings of Power. I know. 2008 AD. You're funny, chat. You're funny. It was kind of cringe. Yeah. I want a good Atlantis movie. I did see a good movie last night. That's good for a streaming movie. Okay. It's good for a streaming movie. It's not like super intelligent or anything. It's a love story with monsters. It's called The Gorge. So,
it's a horrible name for a movie. I'm sorry.
But there's a gorge.
And, so it's the kind of movie, I think I was describing it to you, Garrett. Maybe I've said it early on the live stream. Things kind of blending in, but it's the kind of thing that when there's a tent pool out, there's your alternative movie. That's what it would be. It's just and Anya Taylor-Joy is pretty damn good at it. So it's fun, but it's like a watchtower over a gorge where there's a bunch of creatures
as like a paranormal nexus
are
or
not supposed, are not that well supposedly that are watching each other, but they can't contact each other. But one's a dude and one's a girl, and there's like a totally heteronormative relationship in this. It's fucking weird.
Wow.
And the dude sees the girl and says, she's kind of hot. I'm going to start talking to her some more, and that's it. So the first half is like a love story. It was them communicating across this gorge,
right?
With like writing stuff. and then it goes into a horror movie, and then it becomes, hi Remy, you hear Remy?
Aw, your babies are over here too.
Yeah. And then it turns into like action movie at the end.
Nice.
So it's got like,
is she saving him? Because the trailer made it look
no.
He was like,
well, they save each other.
oh, okay.
He falls in,
right,
and she goes after him because she loves him. She's like, they fall in love.
Wow.
So she's like, yeah, I'm not letting my man go. But like, then he immediately saves her, and then
okay, yeah. Don't spoil it. I want to know.
No.
I want to know about it.
there isn't just
My
a
watch.
girl saving guy. They're saving each other. They're working together. It's egalitarian, very egalitarian. They're like working completely together as a team, which is fucking awesome. So,
And where can people watch this?
Apple TV, which is lame.
Why does
Okay.
fucking Apple TV execs stop? Just Apple fund movies and then put them in other streaming.
Yeah,
stores.
you can get like a
No one buy
7-day
yours.
free trial, or you can go to this place called Tortuga.
Yes.
I like the rum there.
Mm,
Yeah, you could just go to this place called Tortuga.
that's where I saw Captain America.
Yeah, I saw
Well, what
it.
they called Captain America.
I saw it in a theater. Hey, we did a video. It's been our
did?
first official video since Emilia Perez.
So glad. At least it wasn't that. You know, I didn't have to listen to that fucking song 80 times. You know how many times I've heard that part specifically.
I was like,
From penis to vagina.
Yes.
Like
man,
80
the
times.
woman, the man.
Man. I started, that's how many times I watched it. I started to understand what they were even saying. I was like, oh, he's asking, what do you want? And she's saying from man to woman. And he says from penis to vagina. Like it's an answer. They were answering each other. I wasn't listening before. It was just annoying. And then I was seeing the Matrix. I was like, oh, I understand what they're saying.
You poor soul.
You were
Too much.
You were starting to feed into the programming.
I was like, what's
Oh, what we didn't
okay.
talk about with Kurt is like that's the programming. Is it was a fucking like it's a trend. It is
Yep.
a trend pushed by music in Hollywood and all influential things, and all of a sudden people in LA and San Francisco, Marin County, New York, London, all the elite places, all of a sudden it was super cool to have a trans kid. And I saw it. I saw it
Social
before.
contagion.
This was back in the Obama years. I told this story before. I'm sitting in my wife's salon waiting for her to get done with work, and I see a kid walk by, and I'm like, I kind of recognize that kid. And then Melissa's assistant whispers in my ear, she transed him to a girl, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I fucking walked out, like, because I was like, it's my wife's business. I'm not gonna fuck it up, but like, on all grounds of right and wrong, I can't be fucking near this, and I can't not say anything. So I just, oh Mel,
Yeah.
I'll catch you later. And I
It's
told her what
it's a
happened. I'm like,
contagion.
what the fuck was that? You know, and that was the first time I saw it, like in the wild, and I'm like, transing a kid? Are you fucking kidding? That's child
Yeah.
abuse.
Agreed.
And she's
Yeah.
like, it's getting weird. I'm like, yeah, it's getting fucking weird. And drag queen story hour has been going on for 20 years in San Francisco.
Well, like Kurt was saying, like
Really?
it's
Yes, I
Yeah.
pulled my kid out of 2 in
Yeah.
elementary school. So my
My
kid
wife
just didn't
just-
go to school that day.
She
you,
took
you have a
Vincent
sorry.
to a story hour, and I'm like, if
What
there's
kind
some
of story
frickin-
hour?
if there's some like who's reading it? It was
Yeah.
like at the local library. She's like, I don't know. I'm like,
Better
if
check it
it's-
out.
If it's freaking some trans shit, like you're leaving. She's like, yeah, of course. But it was like some old woman and
No,
some,
that's
some,
Oh, that's how it
couple
should be.
ladies.
That's how it should be.
It's like-
Like, that was
I
in
like,
California. That
yes,
was
thank
yeah,
you.
that was when I was in San Francisco, chat.
But you'll have enough people that will believe it, that have that like whatever gene and he was talking about will just like go along with it, and then people that don't believe it but then pretend to believe it because they just want to go along with what's
Be nice.
what everybody else
whatever.
is.
Mhm.
And I think he said the small majority or small minority that don't believe it and will speak up. I think that's larger. I think it's much larger.
It's way larger. I
It's
think we
much
found each
larger.
other, chat.
Yeah.
We found each other. And it was beautiful. And that's what COVID did, was it connected us when we were like all kind of isolated.
And the going along to get along people, I think are getting smaller. And I think the most of those people are starting to join the people that are like, wait a second, this has gone way too far, and we need to bring it back.
It's a lot of information. I'm trying to be empathetic about this. It's a lot of information to take that breaks your world, and people would just rather. It's much easier to believe the lie than face the truth. We've never had that luxury. We don't have that luxury anymore. We were on the precipice of continuing and solidifying the post-truth era. Now we're like maybe crawling out of the post-truth era. And that's really important, and that's why, all of us, I'm voting on school boards. I don't even have kids in school. I'm voting on school boards.
Are you paying for it?
And I'm paying for it. So I'm going to know about all this shit now that I didn't pay attention to, and they counted on that. And it is on us. Trump ain't going to fucking save us. Trump might be able to turn something around, but no politician is going to save us. We're the only ones who can save us. All right, let's read some soups. WG has gifted 5 Nerdrotic Live memberships for $25. Hail, WG. Love you, man. Cosmic Summit. Can't wait. Cosmic Summit is going to be fucking...
Hell yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Sad the Snake Bros aren't going to be there, though.
Yeah.
Is it definite, or is it just amazing?
I think they have a trip or something during that time.
Yeah. Is Ben going to be there? I think Ben's going to be there.
I know Wandering Wolf is going to be there for sure.
Yeah. Our boy, Michael Collins.
Yeah. And I do think, do we have, we don't have an affiliate link yet.
We will.
George will get us one. Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people there.
Yeah.
I wonder if Luke's going to make it this year.
Hope so.
But we'll be there. We'll be there. Logan Miller has gifted 5 Nerdrotic Live memberships for $25. Thank you, Logan. That's such a good name. I named my kid Logan. Matthew
Kachuk, I think.
Kachuk for $25 says, "Won't you fly high, free bird?" Yeah. You know what? I was listening to that in the fucking gym today. I was cranking that in the gym today, and like I saw Ryan talking about this, I could give 2 flying fucks about hockey unless it's a country game, unless it's like USA versus, and beating the fuck out of fucking Canada after booing our fucking national anthem just felt so good. And you know what? Beating Canada is kind of like picking on a retard, but it's okay. Sometimes it needs to be done.
Hey,
you're in Texas right now. Okay, you're a Texan at the moment.
Who are national anthem? No, hey, as far as the people within that arena are concerned, they get what they deserve. They got an ass beaten.
Yep.
I like the American national anthem.
Go sip on some maple syrup.
Do we have the advantage because we're a bigger country and we have more money and we're more successful? Yeah. But and we have a better leader.
We did that.
Yeah, right. But we still did it. Canadians, particularly Canadian truckers, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
I love you. You guys have the rebel spirit within you.
Yeah.
And maybe you take your country back someday, and then maybe you'll beat us in hockey, the game you invented.
Maybe.
Didn't you invent? I think we took the credit for basketball, but wasn't it Canada who invented?
I think so. I think it was Canada. Yeah. But then we made it better.
Sure.
We take things and we make them better.
Did we make
or
it
we
better?
invent things.
The English language.
I think we made it better for a little while, but they can literally have it back now if they want it.
Yeah. Now we kind of made it trash. Yeah.
I still like that we made pineapple on pizza.
You know what? I'll give you credit where credit is due. I got to call balls and strikes. Props to Canada for putting pineapple on pizza.
That's against the Geneva Convention. Apartheid for pizza and pineapples.
Dr. Naismith, was he Canadian?
Naismith.
Puke Bucket. $20 rant says you guys should have Peter Schiff on as a guest. Peter Schiff, not Adam Schiff. Peter Schiff.
I'm not aware.
Yeah, that's the only Schiff I know.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. You never know. I wonder if you
entrepreneur, economist, and author.
There you go. You might be way too smart for us, but so is Kurt, and so is everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
Mooksy Clang for $10 says, Kurt, Loved your recent appearance on Richard Grove's Grand Theft World. It was great. Much better flow than Rogan kind of tongue-in-cheeking the rabbit holes. Hail to the fellowship. Kurt's great on Rogan.
Yeah.
But I'll watch that other one too. But Kurt is great on Rogan. Toxic Man Flu was gifted 5 Nerdrotic Live memberships for $25. Thanks, Tox. Sorry you got to work for comics. Maybe one day he'll show up to Friday Night Tights on time again. I don't know when that's going to start.
That?
I don't know. Oh, he had a contract with his day job because some people on FNT have day jobs. I mean, not us.
Yeah. I have one priority. Okay, FNT.
That's right.
And all my kids. But that's like
secondary. No, Nerdrotic, and then your kids, and then your wife.
Exactly. In that order.
Yeah.
I don't think your wife agrees with me at all.
Hey,
I mean,
man,
he did forget his wife at an airport.
Oh my God! Look who's back, Sophie. What was that?
Nothing.
Sophie.
Hey,
we
going to Turkey.
Sophie
Better be going to Turkey.
She better be going to Turkey.
Man, I'm gonna be sad if she didn't go to Turkey. I'm gonna miss the energy.
We love Sophie for 12 Peruvian pesos. Hey, familia! X-ray. I like ketchup sandwiches. Is it just
ketchup?
I used to
Just
eat
ketchup?
ketchup on sandwiches. Okay, whatever.
With
No big
nothing
deal.
else? No
Ketchup and
really?
rice. You know, I love ketchup. Can't do it
On
now.
set.
okay?
Ketchup and rice?
Oh, that is fucking Asian. That is no. My son has done that. So quarter Asian son has done that. Yeah,
That makes more sense than just ketchup.
you
Did
and
have
quarter
only
Asian
ketchup?
son can go out to
No.
eat all the fucking time, and you'll eat the same shit. Okay. Oh,
I don't do it anymore. Okay.
Hey, listen, I had to eat ketchup
You reformed?
packets when we were locked down at El Cajon after an escape for 2 fucking weeks, and they just decided to like skip giving us meals sometimes.
How
So
was
we were
that?
like, that's for real. I was
That's
eating
horrible.
ketchup packets to eat.
It sounds
No.
like illegal.
It's very illegal, but nobody gives a shit. And this was the 80s, and there was an escape because the contractor for anybody who lived in El Cajon, California in the late 80s will know this story. It's the biggest building in El Cajon. It's the jail. And the contractor just made it out of fucking stucco. They didn't reinforce it with anything. So one guy just figured it out one day. He broke a fucking piece of metal off his bunk and just started banging a hole in the fucking wall and did the whole like tying the sheets together. A couple of guys broke a couple of sticks and bones on the way down. They got away, and then they eventually got caught because they broke some bones. And they're stupid, and they went back to where they fucking lived. Fucking retards. Get out. You don't go back to where you live.
Yeah, not right away. At
Dum-dums.
least you spend some time, let it cool down.
But back to Sophie's super chat. Number 2, Gary, my most heartfelt condolences to you and Melissa. Thank you. We appreciate it. Wish I could send a big hug. That's good enough. The thought is good enough. You guys are an example in fortitude and perseverance. Love you guys. That reminds me of my favorite quote from the outlaw Josie Wells. Endeavor to persevere. Endeavor to persevere. That movie needs to be in 4K. Jose Contreras for $1. Is Steph the reason X-Ray is not allowed to stream from your studio? No, she's allowed to stream. I don't know why she hasn't.
Oh, I thought it was easier to set up my own stuff here and not have to move it around because I realized his camera's not there and I just did not want to bother setting my own stuff up. That was it.
Yeah, I wanted to take the good camera. I usually don't.
Good.
But it makes
But-
sense.
Garrett was really like, dude, your
I
lighting
appreciate it.
is shit and it's driving me nuts. So I brought the good camera with the autofocus and
And it looks good.
It looks good. It's a good camera. It's a Sony Alpha 7 III, if you want to know what it is. And they run
There you go.
about $1,200. You do have to buy a lens, so it's probably another couple
Mhm.
hundred. But if
They'll get you with the lens, man.
they'll get you with the lens, but you don't need any fucking software. It plugs right fucking in. The only thing you
That's-
need to remember is you need the little you got to cover up what is it, I forgot the spyglass, because it'll turn your monitor on and overheat your camera. So if you just put a little piece of tape over, turns it off, lasts forever. And it's fucking awesome camera. It's an awesome camera. Takes good pictures too.
Wow. Take a photo with it?
I took a photo with it. I've taken like
Oh.
1 or 2.
My goodness.
The Dead Man for $5 says, hello, Gary. Did you see on CBS they tried to blame free speech on the rise of Nazis, and Marco Rubio corrected the interviewer? Sorry for your loss. I did see it. And CBS is a fucking joke right now. I think they were threatening to leave YouTube TV. And I'm like, good. What? We're not going to have MTV, which I don't watch, CBS, which I don't watch on YouTube TV. Bye. Fuck off.
Yeah, less propaganda. Good. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
You mean the one who edited the 60 Minutes interview with Kamala and got caught and had to give up the transcript and currently being investigated by the FCC? Yeah. Fuck them. Not that I trust the FCC. Wes Svem for $4.99. Gary, thanks for the X-Files recommendation. I'm about to start season 5 after this show. Hell yeah. It's one of the greatest shows ever made, period. I would say the greatest series, one of the top 3 or 4 greatest series of the last 10 years just ended. It's called Cobra Kai. It was fucking fantastic ending. Absolutely fantastic ending. It's mushy and it's a happy ending, and it's like a soap opera, and it turns into like this fantasy world where karate's like the biggest sport ever. And it's fucking great. I wish it was in physical media form. I'd buy it all. Hope for $2. Gary, is it true that tweakers in San Francisco ate cats? Yes, it is true. Amongst other things. It's not just cats.
Rats?
Rats,
hungry.
dogs, raccoons. Yes.
The thing he's talking about, the second layer of humanity, is real. It is right there. It's like in Vegas. You go to Vegas, all the opulence of Vegas, and people having fun and lights and all that stuff. There's a whole world under Vegas.
There is an underbelly of
it's there.
Gambling addicts, drug addicts, and they don't go to the Bellagio, but there's a ton of, like, Matthew Kadish can tell you this. People who live in Vegas can tell you this. Mike Barrett lives in Vegas. He can tell you this.
Yeah.
Dean Cain lives in Vegas. There's all these other little dive casinos. That's where they go.
Yeah.
They go to the dive casinos and the shitty casinos, and it is an underworld, and it is nasty.
Yeah. Dark.
As somebody who lived in the underworld and grew up in it, you don't want to be there. You don't want to be there. Roman of the Empire. What's up, brother? For $5 says, Gary, Garrett and X-Ray Girl. Hope to see you all in Vegas soon. Love you guys. Yeah, we'll I'm gonna work on Vegas next week. I got to get the book and then we'll work on Vegas. I know you guys got your ear out too, and Jeremy does too. Jeremy's helping. Melissa, unfortunately,
looking for a venue.
Melissa is not going to be able to help for the foreseeable future. So hopefully she can make it to Vegas.
I do too.
Yeah. Aaron Pipes for $5. There is a bed in the background with X-Ray Girl. Don't you know that she has an OnlyFans account? No, that's my guest room.
Dirty.
But you know what that room's going to become? That room is going to become the Forbidden Frontier studio.
I was actually looking even at some of the decorations. I see a lot over there.
Yeah.
The 3D
separate
printed
studio
pot.
for Forbidden Frontier and Forbidden Frontier videos. Completely separate.
Oh,
It's gonna be
cool.
Yep.
That's cool.
Kid ain't coming back. Sorry, I turned your room into a studio. Not sorry. The Dead Man for $1.99. Gary, sorry to say, but FF is greater than FNT. You're entitled to your opinion, man. I'm not going to tell you.
Hey, man.
They're all shows that I love. You can like one better than the other, and it will not hurt my feelings. Might hurt Jeremy's feelings or Ryan's, but I don't care if you hurt their feelings. Not entirely. Forest Through the Trees for $10. Hi, Gary. I sent you an XDM yesterday in regards to an email I sent you last year. Are DMs best to reach you? Emails are best to reach me. Just right now, I'm a little behind because I actually am going through them right now. I might be on Piers tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to have to do a deep dive on Blake Lively and fucking...
Oh, man. My condolences.
Yeah.
Thank you. But they're going to talk about Captain America too. Unless, of course, there's some... Like, I was supposed to be on 2 weeks ago, and they replaced me with Andy Signore.
Oh, what?
I had to apologize to Drinker. I'm like, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh shit. Gollum's half bonch circumcision leftover for 10,000 per. What is it? What's a PYG?
Oh, I have no idea.
Polish peso.
Pretty young girl.
Pretty young girl. That's weird. Hale, nice to see you back, bro. Now give me my fix. I will, brother. Thanks for being back in chat. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting us. We had a big crowd tonight, so thank you for being here on YouTube and of course Rumble. Brian K for $5. Remember to hail the God Emperor. Hail God Emperor. That's 40K, right? Mod Eric K. What's up, brother? Kurt, you need to go on a trip with Garrett into the woods. No, let's just say much probing will happen, and at this point, he will not let Zorbo alone. Zorbo
It's
won't
not
let him alone.
me.
Yeah,
it's Zorbu. He's on my case.
It's Zorbu, not Zorbo. Are you getting is it Kevin Sorbo?
It's his brother.
It's his
Zorbo.
brother, Zorbo.
He's an asshole.
His name is Kevin Zorbo.
He played Hercules on his planet.
So it's good to see you, Adam. Hope you and your family are doing better. Big bear hug for me. And I know Diana Francisco would want to give a big squeeze too.
Thanks.
Black Moon Swordsman for $5. Sunday Cool, the YouTube channel. Highly recommend. Anything about the unknown gets me hyped. I love the subject so much. So when I'm not watching a lot of sci-fi and fantasy, like every night I spend 2 to 3 hours in the paranormal ancient civilization world, reading a book, listening to a book, listening to a podcast every single night. I don't take a night off. 7 days a week I'm listening to that shit. It takes the place of my Art Bell fix, which I listen to every single night from when I from in prison to his multiple retirements to when he unfortunately passed away. The big news is that there's going to be an Art Bell biopic.
Yeah. Paul
Giamatti and the Y-Files is involved. AJ
they're involved.
Is involved in some fashion. I can't say
like a consultant.
I honestly don't know. I can't say
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they came out and they're involved in something. I don't know in what capacity. It could be just you're a bro. I don't know. But them being involved, I am going to be a shill. So I'm gonna this one time I'm gonna be a fucking shill and support the Y-Files and the people putting this movie together who did the Pope's Exorcist, I believe. So I'm 100% behind this movie. I can't fucking wait to see it because I know the Y-Files being involved tells me they're going to be genuine and legit with this biopic.
Yeah.
And Art Bell, one of my I outside of my dad, don't have a lot of heroes, like actual heroes. Art Bell was one of my heroes. He was. So Mark Shaw says hail to all. Thank you very much, Mark. Bubba Doom for $5. Big hugs for Mel, the boys, and you, brother. Thanks. Y'all had a rough go. I hope you get to go home soon. I will be home probably in a week. Got to see. It's all timing. It's all timing because I'm driving. So basically the next open Saturday, it's kind of like a launch window. The next open Saturday I have to leave Saturday so I can be home to do this show because I don't want to miss any more of these shows. But I would like to thank X-Ray Girl and friends for watching the house. I really appreciate that. And of course, Matt at Foul Ball Production.
Good
deal. Hail Matt. Good man. He came at the drop of a hat when we needed him. So, and it was a major inconvenience for him because he has a job and everything, and he did it. So thanks, brother. We'll never forget that. Subconscious Pilot for $27.99 Canadian. Can you guys get David Polides on? Okay. I will contact him on Instagram tonight. X-Ray Girl, tonight. I will.
You've been working on it.
From 411 Can-Am, his subscriptions are going up, but his viewership is down. Sounds pretty sus. It would be super cool of you guys. Thanks. My condolences to you and your family as well. Cheers. No, I love that dude. I have been listening to when he first appeared on Coast to Coast, and I watch his videos. Like he's incredibly based, so that helps too. But he's great. He's freaking great. He's a great storyteller. He is an excellent storyteller. So that's He's a good writer. His documentaries are great. His books are great, but just hearing him tell a story, he's got that gift. So I would love to have him on. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, if he's the kind of guest, if we got on, we do the show on the main channel. And Rumble. We do the show on the main channel and Rumble. Ceiling Bird for $2. Beep. Thank you. The Dead Man for $5. Gary, did you see that Congressman Luna believes there is a second shooter with JFK? I always have. This is based on information she's seen. They know what's up. Yeah, I think there's been too much time has passed. And
yeah, where is it?
Oh, we're still like a couple weeks to a month away. My Tiger, or my Tigger. My Tigger, like Tigger the Tiger.
Yes.
I know what
I see what you're doing there.
Yeah. $5 says, check out My Chaos by Tom O'Neill. Talks about Charles Manson, MK Ultra, and the CIA's experiments in mind control. Yeah, so MK Monarch is an offshoot of MK Ultra, and it's basically like Stepford wife, drone women, like slave kind of shit. Really dark shit.
Is it like the UAP UFO? They just switched the name, made it a separate branch of like the same kind of organization.
It's the same thing, but MK Ultra was mind control for assassination. This one was more, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I always got the impression it was more for information gathering and stuff like that. But they'd also do horrible things to these women and dudes. Arm 514 Avenue for $5. Slaves, basically. They're slaves. What actually woke me up to the issues was the fact that Obama showed up on the covers of all the comics, made me go, wait a minute. Yeah, that was pure propaganda. I can't seem to face the fact that I'm tense and nervous and I can't relax. I can't sleep because my bed's on fire. Don't touch me. I'm a real live wire. Psycho killer. Cascase. Better run away. That's Eric K, but that's talking about
Talking
the
Heads.
Talking Heads, MK Ultra. But Eric K gave the super chat. David Byrne.
Is that what that song's about?
Yes.
Psycho
killer. Cascase. The Dead Man for 99 poop emoji. Thank you very much. Aaron Pipes for $5. Meteor was about 150 feet in diameter, so much smaller. That's a mile long. That's a mile crater. Did you go by, Garrett? Did you eventually see it without me?
No.
All right.
I have not seen it yet.
So we're gonna go out there on our Southwest trip. We're gonna hit it. We're gonna hit it. Sideless for $2. You're writing about the Phino-Korean hyper war. What's that?
I don't know.
You should know.
You're Asian. You should know.
I just know everything.
Just
Asian.
never pass up an opportunity to be racist. That's the key to shit. Okay. You see a racist joke, you just pounce on that sucker and do it. Dead Man for $2. How have you seen Man from Earth from Dr. Phlox? No, I don't think so. Sometimes I've asked if I've been seeing something that's like some weird movie from the 80s and I was on drugs. I don't remember if I saw it or not. And I did. I don't remember it. Did I just imagine I watched it? I don't know. Bubba Doom for $2. Do they eat grits in Canada? No, sir. They don't.
I never had grits till down. Visited
That's
down
a
here.
southern
So.
thing.
It is. What's the difference between grits and like oatmeal and shit?
It's cornmeal, I believe.
cornmeal.
Yeah, it's corn.
Yeah.
You don't have cornmeal up there?
I'm sure we do. We just don't.
Cornmeal's better than
You
oatmeal.
call it some
Grits are fucking awesome.
really
Like,
is.
dude, grits, biscuit, and gravy. I've told you guys this before. Are the two things they didn't fuck up in prison. They were like really good. You're like,
Yeah,
oh,
you got
thank
a
God,
mammy
we
up
got
in there.
biscuits and gravy.
I had it for the first time a couple weeks ago. I think my face literally lit up.
Dude, it's so good. It's
southern
so good.
cooking, man.
It's
Southern
so
cooking is
freaking
really
good.
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 CD Stein 69 for $4.99. I'm a Gen X kid of a 10-year Vietnam veteran. I did not believe shit the government or the media says. Gary, do you get the Cahokia mounds on your way home? Oh, I'm gonna hit them on the way home if it's not fucking freezing. Hey, it warmed up today. It was 25. We're in about 5 feet of snow. The snow like came up past the door, and we had to like
Oh God.
Awesome.
Cool.
It's just cold here.
fuck all this shit. Shoveling snow, being frozen in, dark. Like I don't know how you fucking do this. I
It
can't
gets
wait to
dark so
fucking meet.
quick.
I fucking hate
Adam's
it.
like, ha ha ha.
You don't even know.
I don't
You
want to
were-
know.
I was born in the darkness.
So this is the
Molded
first
by
time, Adam, guys, this is the first time in my life I have been in below 0 temperatures.
That's true.
With snow. I've never been in my 55
sucks.
years of life ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Wow.
California.
In 5,000 years, really.
In 5,000 years, I have never.
That's a
I
long
lived during
time.
the ice age,
Oh
but I
my
was I was
God.
close to the equator, so I didn't. I never
That
went
makes
north.
sense.
I
How
never
was the
went
Green
north.
Sahara?
I was in the Green Sahara, walking around in a loincloth, building a pyramid, carving a
So
sphinx
that's how they did it.
with my 90
believe it.
wives and my slaves,
But what's the difference?
riding a saber tooth. Panda 26 for $5. Love to see 3/4 white and Adam on the same live, both screwed over by big shows they help build. Neither
you.
show
Thank you.
has been as good since their departure. There you go.
Thank you.
Toxic Man Flu for $5. So Zorbu, oh, wait a minute. Do I have to screw you guys over? Is that my job now?
It's in our contract.
As long,
I don't
as
want
long-
to.
I'm collecting these. So if you're gonna screw me over, I'm gonna need a silver
You're gonna need
button.
one of those then. I never got one of those
Deal.
things.
Deal. If I screw you over, I'll give you my silver play button. I don't want to screw you guys over. I like you guys.
Well, I still want the play button if
Okay.
we do get them.
Yeah,
No,
you do.
I'll put it in my will to you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Oh.
That could happen any day. I shouldn't say that with my wife listening.
say that.
Toxic Man Flu for $5. So Zorbu is up QBG's ass. Yeah,
Yes.
What you've heard
Yeah,
is not true.
literally yes.
This is not real.
Right now
true.
as we're speaking. Bubba Doom for $5. Have we had any news on little Asia Bell? I hope she's okay. Art was amazing. You know, I don't know what happened to his daughter. I don't know. I imagine because I remember when he lost his wife, and he did a show the next day. Oh,
Man.
that was fucking hard. And then he got remarried and had another kid. And then his son went through some horrible shit. Like his son got molested by a teacher or a coach of some kind and taken across state lines and yeah, horrible shit.
Like a Blue Jay situation?
Yeah, it was news. It was news over a decade ago, but it was like, you know, we were kind of like, what the fuck is wrong with all his retirements and stuff? And that was part of it. Now we later found out like drugs played it. I think he had some back pain or something like that, and he got hooked on opiates, which I did too. And I've lost friends to that, and we lost art to that. Fuck the drug companies. I mean, you know,
I know a doctor that was prescribing it to someone I know that got arrested for because they were taking
Good.
money and they got called out and they're in prison now. Like
yeah,
I think
they were
got 15
overprescribed.
years or something because
Fucking
they
And
killed
regular.
people.
They
Bunch of
killed people.
died. Yeah,
You're right. Most of them got away with it.
Wow.
These clinics were popping up in 2009. There was a thing called Turn to Help. That's how I found Suboxone, right? So there was Turn to Help,
Yeah.
and it turns out it was like Pfizer, Moderna, like, who created the opioid
Yeah.
crisis, created a solution. Problem, reaction,
Boom.
solution. David Icke says it, and he's right. So they
Yep.
created the cure, and the cure was worse than the fucking drug, right? But these little clinics and private doctors started popping up that weren't connected to any insurance at first, and they were making money hand over fist, over prescribing the opiate, and then going, oh, we can't prescribe it, but we have the solution. We have Suboxone, right? And at first, I got in early, so it was not generic and it was not covered by insurance. So it was like $1,000 a fucking visit, $1,000 a visit to get unhooked off of opiates. So it was a big fucking scam, and everybody got away with it except for a few doctors who killed a couple of celebrities, and all of a sudden it got people to actually do something. And and start investigating him and putting him away for a long time because they murder people. They straight up murder people. And these
Vulnerable
are the
people.
vulnerable people. These are the same doctors. It's like, believe all doctors. Fuck that.
Mhm.
The doctors are humans. They're pieces of shit and they're greedy and they will fuck you over for money or kill you. So yeah, I'm a little bitter about it.
And won't
Still.
think twice.
Yeah, but we lost art. We lost Prince. We lost fucking Michael Jackson. We've lost Tom Petty. Like so many great artists, and then there's the names you don't know.
Yeah.
There's some little 19-year-old kid who got killed because of this, or there's some dad who was never addicted to anything in his life with a couple of kids, got hooked on opiates and went to fucking heroin or whatever. And within 3 years, he's gone. His family has no dad. There's a million stories out there like that, and these fucking piece of shit drug companies get away with it. Get away with it. It should make you really fucking angry. Really angry. And every single person in this chat, every single person on this panel has been affected in some way or another with a family member or friend with drug addiction. And while it's a personal disease that takes a conscious decision, okay, you're not just completely innocent. There was a lot of people feeding that addiction and making money, and they're the worst kind of evil out there. And I hope they all fucking burn in hell. Believe in yourself for 40 Martian pesos. Nerdrotic crew goes to bat for you. BAHT. Jeff up north is gifted 1 Nerdrotic Live membership.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. Thank you. The Dead Man for $4.99 with disclosure. I feel like we are halfway there living on a prairie. You stop it.
You got you good.
Accident Seller for 50 Norwegian krona. Gary, you should watch the latest season of Star Blazers Yamato remake. Rebel 3119. It's ongoing. Yeah, I'm going to start that soon. That's my all-time favorite. It's just cartoon animation. Star Blazers, the original Star Blazers, and the battleship Yamato is the greatest fucking ship created outside of the Enterprise refit. It's ongoing. The next couple episodes are due in April. All right, I will check it out. Jose Taco, what's up, brother? I need a good audiobook for your trip. If you need a good audiobook for your trip to San Antonio, Project Hail Mary, a sci-fi book you have to get into blind because it's that good. And they're making a movie on it. And Nerd Cookies is excited. And I like Nerd Cookies has good taste. So I will check it out. Subscribe to Nerd Cookies.
I'm going to get it right now.
She's cool. Toxic Man Flu for $5. First time in under sub-zero temps, Gary. Hell, that was my entire second marriage.
Oh my God.
Oh. True story, though. That was my first marriage. Peak of Power for $2. Your show is racist, and I will never support you. Thank you. Bubba Doom for $2. Nuri needs all the pizza rolls. I think Nuri's sick. I think
Snorri?
Yeah, when he was on with Mike Barrow was on. So that's the first time I listened to Nori in years. I listened to Nap on the weekends. I listened to the weekend shows. And he didn't sound good. He didn't sound good at all. So I'll kind of hold off on the guy. He's getting old. Cap Keeps for $5. A third of our population is cognitively impaired and consistently preyed upon by pharma and every other industry. A travesty. Yep. The Dead Man for $5. Last one. I thought your MCU video was funny when you kept referencing Grace Randolph. That was back in the early days. I did a lot until people like were emailing me and begging me to stop. They're like, please stop putting Grace Randolph in your videos.
I almost took it out. I almost just did it once, but then I had it in every like cut, but I thought it was too funny to.
It's so fucking funny.
I wanted her to be like the lead into the next MCU.
Oh, so speaking of videos, we got one coming out tomorrow at 11:30. It's cooking. I got one more thing to do.
Yeah.
One more thing to do. I said that 5 or 6 times today. It was supposed to come out today. And then I'm like, I got one more thing to do. And then I realized I'm in Wisconsin and I'm not on fiber. And it took an hour and a half to upload. And I'm like, oh, well, it's going to.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that'll come out tomorrow. Adam, you got streams tomorrow? You got.
Yep. I'm returning Base F Monday. It's hopefully everyone can show up.
Yeah,
It's been
try to get in.
it's been such a random hodgepodge of people that show up, but it's fun either way. But yeah, Crigler show, doing the thing.
How about you, X-Ray Girl?
Ooh, tomorrow, maybe a nooner at the same time. We'll find out. It might be a different time. We'll see.
I think it's moving to Thursday.
Okay. I will be.
Well, I'll know in the morning when full transparency. I'm waiting for an email from Piers. Oh, I wanted to mention Piers on Kurt's Metzger because
With
Metzger
Kurt?
was on Jimmy Dore. He's all, well, you can always watch Piers and him talking to 4 fucking retards, and I'm like, I'm one of those retards. Yeah,
That's me. He's talking about me.
That is hilarious. But if not, then I'm probably gonna stream a game at some point, and then take care of these dogs, not cook them. Okay.
Yeah, don't take care of them.
Yeah.
like, take care of them.
So they're still alive. They're
them.
doing okay.
Yeah,
They're
they're doing
probably just beside themselves
I
that
mean,
mom's not there.
It's so cute. So Gomez sleeps. I hate the decorative pillows. It's not the pillows itself, but I just hate using them. So, but Gomez likes sleeping between them, which is so cute. So I just put them on the bed so he can sleep in the pillows. But both of them sleep like curled up next to me, and I love it. And they're so adorable. So
They like people. They just,
they do.
they're probably really happy Remy isn't there terrorizing them right now.
Actually,
large
so
dog over them.
cute. Maris has a more playful personality that
Yep.
I've never really seen because Remy takes the whole room.
Because Remy's not there.
Yeah. Very
Remy's
adorable.
big now. She's like 76 pounds now.
Oh,
She's getting big.
I miss her.
Oh, she loves the snow. I don't think she'll ever want to leave. Snow is the greatest thing she's ever seen. She starts trotting like, oh my God, this is yeah. Magical.
Yeah. We do have Bubba Doom for 2 says X-Ray, don't feed the pups corn. I don't plan on it.
There
you
go.
can't feed dogs corn. Nothing.
Or avocados or blueberries.
Or chocolate.
Chocolate for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you got coming up, Garrett?
Nothing. Probably gonna stream this week. Gonna play a game. Not sure which. Might do the Kingdom Come Deliverance. We'll see what happens. But I'm gonna stream this week because there's no normal world this week. Dave is out.
Oh.
He's touring the whole week with Matt.
Oh, good.
McCullough.
I'll just double up your workload.
Yeah, ready. Probably stream at some point, and then Bay Staff tomorrow.
Bay Staff
Right?
tomorrow. Go
We're doing it tomorrow.
Adam's channel and watch Bay Staff. You know what? I'm gonna watch Bay Staff. How do you like me now? How do you fucking like me now? I watch Bay
I
Staff.
like you. I like you now.
Aw.
Aw, thanks, buddy.
Gotta get the boys
Yeah,
back
wait,
together
I didn't before. You want to join based on?
now.
But
Pop in if you want.
hey, maybe if it depends. But I will join one for sure. I will join one. But we're definitely hitting the UK this year. That's happening. That is absolutely happening. So
Yes.
we'll have some announcements on that too. We will not be doing a meetup in London because that's what everybody who came to London asked us not to do again.
That's true.
Don't do one in
They-
London.
Yeah.
And
Every
Adam will be
single
there.
person said that.
We're gonna get Adam there. That was so much fun seeing you and
Yeah, it was
Shad was in full fucking armor and Drinker was there and
He was in his
Disparu.
element.
Dude, it was
You guys all
awesome.
sucking on my nut cream. I mean, it was good times.
It was good nut
That was a
cream.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
It was
good.
good.
I
Good
got
nut
some.
cream.
Are you gonna bring your
I
nut
brought it
cream?
home with me?
You're gonna bring more
100%.
nut cream? Okay,
Of
good.
course.
Yeah,
Don't
can't
you want me
wait.
to bring my nut cream?
Don't even fucking
Yes,
show
please.
if you don't have your nut cream.
Exactly.
Can I get more this time, please?
I go nowhere without my nut cream.
It's like you've done commercials before.
Yeah, like a professional.
Not a sponsor.
There's one more super chat here if you want to read it.
Bon Jovi absolutely sucks. Screw Big Pharma and the politicians that take their money and do their bidding. When will YouTube fully function on smartphones? Feed dog carrots. It's clean their teeth. I don't know. I mean, like you think that an Android, a YouTube would work properly, but like I don't know if you guys have the problem. If you go back to a video that you went away from, it doesn't load. So you have to hit back again, close out the
Yeah.
video, reopen the video. If you're on a live stream and it goes live, you have to back out the fucking live. And I've updated
Yeah.
and
Oh, that's
everything. And I've got an
annoying.
S24. I've got an S24. Okay. And then you got to go back and then reopen the fucking live stream, right?
Devs do better.
Do better.
Yeah. I know.
Rook takes Rook. Love. Right back at you.
So
Yeah, and it's supposed to work. Premium is supposed to work when you turn your phone off. It doesn't. It works for a little while, then it stops, and then it restarts
Really?
about 10 minutes later. Yeah,
Oh, that sucks.
that's at my S24, so that's a pretty new phone.
Maybe it works better on whatever your internet browser app.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe.
It could be the workaround.
I shouldn't have to work around on a fucking
know.
$1,000 phone.
Yeah. BMO does it better on Hazed for 5 says, now that I take a pause on streaming on Rumble and got last payout on PayPal, here's some money redirected from BMO better and Hazed Zalot.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a me, Mario, for $19.99. Hi, Mario.
Cheers.
All right, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Thank you again for joining us. Kurt, thanks for coming on. We love you, man. And we'll be back next week with some more weird shit.
Yeah.
Ciao.
See ya.
Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.